Sure. Welcome back to the Comics Aficionados right here on Thinking Critical YouTube. We've had an interesting week. We finally had some big news drop on Friday regarding Dawn of DCU. We got some creative teams. We've got some events coming out, and we've also got the Fatal Diva himself choking on a breakfast burrito. How you doing, Fatal Diva?
How you doing, Sir Wesley? I'm glad to be here on the Thinking Critical show. I'm ready to take my title back as the #1 hated guy because Josh was crying last week like a little baby because people was, giving him the Fatal J treatment. See, that's what happens. Not that people can't step in the Fatal J shoes, okay? Josh, step it up, man.
The first person that's going to challenge you on your love for Wakanda Forever is Kyle Lyle. He says the Namor movie will be called Where's My Crotch? And he'll battle ICE agents and deport people of colonizer descent.
Dude, where's my burrito?
Fatal J takes a big bite when it's time to talk.
Yes.
Definitely support Fatal J at his channel, The Fatal J Show. We also call him Tinkleberry Hair.
Hey, support the Fatal J Show because my channel is dying. Nobody don't want to watch my channel.
It's growing by leaps and bounds.
Change the name. Change the name to the Tinkleberry Show, and everybody will be all on board.
Oh man, Superman's red drawers.
You win over 10,000 subscribers. You're doing like 2,000 views a video. You're doing great.
Oh, okay,
that's good.
Yeah. No, it's not. They hate me.
Yes.
They only come in there. Just read the comments. They hate my guts.
Well, you have really bad opinions. That's not really the viewer's fault. That's
you have a unique point of view.
I don't understand why people hate my guts because I think Wakanda Forever is the greatest movie known to man.
Maybe it's because
you have terrible taste.
That's true. So, Cal Lyle, thank you very much for supporting the channel. Don't worry, Fatal J will be here for the entire 2.5 hours that we're doing this. Who else do we have? We have returning Carrie from Nerdy Girl Creates, the manga expert herself. How you doing, Carrie?
I'm good. I am looking forward to today. I cannot wait to talk about these topics.
Yes, we're gonna have a lot of good stuff here. You got any big videos that people should know about on the channel?
Well, I do have some more manga reviews coming up this week as well as some indie comics, but the live stream is also coming back Tuesday night, so Taco Tuesdays where we talk about anime, manga, and more. So stay tuned for
while
that.
eating tacos.
Shouldn't it be Sushi Tuesdays then?
It doesn't rhyme as well as Otaco Tuesday.
Have you invited Fatal J? Because if it's talking while eating tacos, this man is undefeated. You know what I mean?
We should definitely have Fatal J on.
I love tacos. Tacos.
Exactly.
Tacos is life.
Hi.
Do Taco Tuesday. Fatal J would be the main event.
Move it to Sunday and call it Sushi Sundays.
There we go.
Hi, this guy.
My goodness. All right, Doc. That's why you're not in charge of the programming. Who else we got? We got Jim from Weird Science DC. How you doing, Jim?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Wes. I think we have Sandwich Saturday right now with Fatal J. He's eating it up. We got it going on.
Sandwich Saturday.
I'm glad to be on Sandwich Saturday show here. But yeah, thanks for having me on. I don't have anything to eat right now, but I have a coffee, so I'm good.
Very nice. I'm glad that you could make it. We've also got Eric O'Sullivan filling in for Josh. You got big shoes to fill. He's normally the DC aficionado, but we are ramping up to Black Friday. Thanksgiving is around the corner. That's why I'm going on vacation soon. And Josh happens to manage some retail stores, and he's going to be busy for the next few weekends.
And I brought my own shoes just in case, Josh's were funky.
Oh, you know the fuck. Especially after all the crap that he got last week.
I know.
As Fatal J said, the man was just sitting there on Twitter crying.
I actually, I applaud Fatal J and Josh for having positive reviews of something that it's a movie. It's meant to entertain. And guess what? It found some audience out there. It really did.
It found two people that it entertained.
Yeah. And two awesome people that we all love.
Absolutely.
So, good. We'll see Josh when he's comes out of his season there. That'll be fine,
I don't know why everybody was expecting this to be like the #1, like the first movie. It was no way. I still enjoyed it though.
We'll get there, Fatal J.
Yeah.
Definitely a big shout out and a tip of the cap to Josh. We're missing you. I hope you have a good day.
But I'm here, and Wes was so nice to invite me back to the panel. I'm blessed and grateful. And guess what? Today is my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Yeah, come on!
Man,
Like,
if I would have known, I would have had
streamers
streamers and balloons.
Oh, dude, no! I got great plans tonight with old friends. Going to Guy Fieri's restaurant. Then we're going to the Blackhawks Boston Bruins game. It's gonna be fun, and I'm gonna start it off the right way here with the Comics Aficionados, with you guys talking about comic books all morning. I love it. Thank you so very much.
First off, I want to say this, buddy.
Yes, sir.
When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Oh, shucks, man.
I didn't feel genuine. I'm going to be honest. There was malice in his voice.
Man, that came from the heart. This man is pure positivity. Have you ever heard this man say anything bad?
Yes.
I can rant with the best of them, man. But you know what?
He's more positive.
When you rant, though, it's a positive rant.
You know, there's just there's a lot of outrage in our culture, and I want to be, I want to remember what's best about it, and that's also why I'm grateful.
Half full kind of guy.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Any man that has Pikachu in the background cannot be a negative man.
And you know what? This show got me buying comic books again. And good, there are superhero stories made for superhero fans like us, and it's being done out there.
Yes, sir.
You're
Happy
welcome,
birthday,
man.
brother. I hope you live to be an immortal.
Wakanda forever.
Last but not least, we do have Doc return to the show. How you doing, Doc?
Oh, I am still definitely least, but okay.
Either your
Are
mic
you
is
okay?
messed up.
Sounds like you got a frog in your throat.
I'm about to say that you need to clear your throat or your mic is messed up, sir.
No, I definitely have a frog in my throat. Or a dick in my throat. I don't know.
What?
He needs a drink of water, is what he needs.
Did you hear this
but
man, Wes?
I heard what
happy
he
to
said. I'm
see
trying
us.
to ignore it. You know what I mean? It's all you can do when you're the host of a shit show
All right,
like
all right.
this, but
I can't believe that man said that.
I
the
can.
train is already going
I was
off the
about to
tracks.
say, have you not met Doc?
I know Doc, but I don't know Doc.
How many times you been on this fucking show with me, dude?
All right. Let's keep the F-bombs down. People who play this around their kids and stuff. My goodness. Lane Kramer wants to know, is New Golden Age #1 required reading for the Justice Society of America series? What do you say, Jim? I know you got some DC insiders. Do they need to read that?
I would say that he should read it. I don't know that it's 100%, but it's a good book. I think that he should read it to get into that. And also, if you're going to read Stargirl, it's pretty, I'd say it's required, actually. Go for it, is what I'm saying.
Do it. Very nice. Cal Lyle has words for Fatal J. Fatal J, you are wrong. And you think it's odd how a black woman who hated the movie, Where Are the Men, got demonetized. And mostly women hated the movie.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. Every time I pick up the phone, I hear two things. Fatal J, you're wrong, or Fatal J, you're late. So I'm used to that, sir. Okay?
And you were late today.
I was late to the show today. Yep. By
Being
1 minute, though. I'm
consistent.
getting better. I'm getting better. Yes, I admit Wakanda Forever does have a lot of flaws to it, but I still enjoy it. See, this is the thing about it. People
Here's the
out
thing,
here.
Fatal J. I know that you love The Woman King. That was your favorite movie of the year.
I did not
Wakanda
watch
Forever exceed The Woman King?
I did not watch that, sir, because
That was
that's
your
false
film.
history. Wakanda Forever is a make-believe African village, okay? So I didn't put my expectations that high. These are Marvel movies, people. Do y'all want Martin Scorsese type films with these movies?
I wouldn't mind some superheroics rather than just
They
depressing.
tried that in the Eternals, right?
You're not going to get Martin Scorsese from these films. These are almost like these films are almost like pothead level type films. You can only put it on the pothead level.
Dude,
That's
where's
it.
my Black Panther?
You got to be blazing to enjoy the movie.
If you walk into the theater and think, oh man, this is the most prolific film that ever existed.
I think that's the wrong way to use the word prolific.
I know. I
just
try to
got a
use
feeling.
big words and I mess myself up.
Yeah, you
I try
didn't
to
hit
be
that
smart,
one.
man. See, Wes, you always trying to make me feel bad. Now I got to go back to sleep tonight, hugging my teddy bear in a fetal position, and cry myself to sleep again because of what you do to me.
That's what
man.
happened to Josh, and you were just making fun of him.
At least I internalized my pain. He put it out there in the open. I don't need.
Justin Adams says, will there be an Aquaman title in the new Dawn of DCU? Will Wonder Woman actually be good? If not, how can they get there? Also, Teen Titans, is there a title for it coming? I'm new to comics. I will guarantee you there will be an Aquaman title.
Yeah.
Because Aquaman has a movie coming out.
Yep.
When they did the teaser images for Dawn of DCU, Aquaman is one of the 7 characters that they featured. They also featured heavily Nightwing, and I imagine we will get something with the Titans or Teen Titans as well. Jim, have you gotten that confirmed with your sources?
Yeah, Yeah, pretty much. Exactly what you said. Plus, I mean, even with that image, you don't have a Justice League yet. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be coming up. There's a lot of stuff that you would expect that they would announce. And
There's
when
another
Wonder
13
Woman,
titles that they
yeah,
didn't
there's a
announce
lot more going. And Wonder Woman, they just need new writers.
Hey,
Yeah, so
Mr.
that's the big problem with Wonder
Yeah.
Woman is actually the creators on it.
Yeah, it's not.
So if they
anything but
replace
that.
Clune-Rad, Stephanie Williams, Vita Ayala, bring somebody with a better grasp on Wonder Woman and comic book storytelling, perhaps it'll be good. But if it's the same creators, based on what we've seen the past 18 to 20 months, no, it won't be good.
Yeah.
Get the bots out of here.
What?
Get the bots out of here. Now, Mr.
There's
Mr.
bots?
Oh, yes, bots
we already got
there's
the
a
sex
love
box.
bot.
That's
Oh,
because
no.
you, Doc, of what you just said earlier. But Mr. Stanley, I want to ask you a question. What was that I seen with those different Supermen? Like I saw the Superboy, I saw the Supergirl. It was like a poster that I saw them. Are they coming out with some kind of comic book?
They got new uniforms.
They have, yeah. There's a
And
family.
in Action Comics, it's a family book that's going to feature all the characters. But also teased in this stuff that we're going to get to here in a moment is that there's going to be a Brainiac event is like the culmination of the first year.
Oh,
So that's why
yeah, it looks
Superman
real
is being
centered on a
featured.
lot of Superman stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm kind
But
of
also makes sense because David Zaslav specifically has stated
Exactly.
the key to the DCU moving forward is Superman. So DC
Yeah.
Comics are going to follow.
I'm a believer in Zaslav. He's cutting out the fat and look like we're not gonna get that fruity, licious Skittle type of comic books anymore. Now, excuse me if I offended anybody when I said that, but that's the best way.
You
I
did
thought
use
Fruity
fried
Licious
comics.
was a type of gum, wasn't it?
That
Bubblicious
was
or something like that.
Bubblicious.
Now,
I
I
think
can
he
even say
used
that.
Fruitylicious in the proper terminology there.
was Fruit
Fruitalicious,
Stripe.
these
Fruit Stripe.
Bubblicious
Stripe.
comic books. I think that era is gone now because they need money. So I'm kind of interested to see what this new DC is talking about. I'm interested.
And also, Justin, if you're new to comic books, every Saturday right here on the channel and after this live stream at about 4:30 Eastern time, we will have a best comic books of the week. If you're looking for suggestions and places to go out and find the best comic books available, at the end of the year, I also do an end of the year best stories and characters type of videos. I've done those for the past 2 or 3 years. So if you're looking for suggestions, those videos are going to be right up your alley and give you a good place to start on a lot of characters that you probably like. Also, we have Common Sense says, should Jack Knight be mentioned in new comics?
I have
He
but
could
no
be.
clue. Who the freak is Jack Knight? Who's that?
Starman.
Oh, gotcha. It's a whole bunch of star men though, right?
There is a legacy going from Ted Knight, the first Golden Age Starman, his sons.
Yeah.
And then there were other Starmen out there.
I got into the star man, the one that wear the goggles. Which star man is
Yeah,
that?
that's Jack.
Oh, okay.
And but Courtney Whitmore, Courtney's the current star girl with the and so isn't that job taken? And
Probably, yeah. It's kind of
Yeah.
like you can't bring back Moon Boy if you got Moon Girl in the universe. You know what I mean? Mantle's already taken. So they are doing a lot more Golden Age kind of stuff, digging into the past, so it could happen, but I wouldn't expect it. Just kind of the way things are playing out right now. Cal Lyle says, don't make me call you, speaking to Fatal J specifically, and Josh Shields. I've been called every name in the book disagreeing with this stupid movie.
Sir, you're entitled to this movie being done.
You're a shill. Fuck it.
I'm not a Marvel shield. I don't like Shang-Chi and all that other stupid crap Eternals.
Shang-Chi. I love
Shang-Chi
that
was
movie.
No, I didn't.
Oh, that
The
wasn't
movie
you.
was not good, man. It was a disgrace to the Marvel masterpieces that come out. No, sir.
oh,
Wow. Calvin Lyle's throwing down the gauntlet. He's calling you out, Fatal Jane.
I
don't blame him. He
understand.
says you like a bad movie.
I understand.
Thank you so much for support of the channel. And let's
If
get
I-
right into these comic book topics that we actually have. I need to turn this off first. There it is. I missed the button. And let's talk about the Dawn of DCU details that we do have. We just talked about a little bit of the stuff that's coming out here. Jim, the big revelations here are that we're going to have 3 events. Lazarus Planet we knew about.
Yep.
There's going to be a mid, season event because it's going on for 1 year in Dawn of DCU. It appears to be a Batman-centric event. It's going to be titled Night something with the T. People believe it might be Night Terrors. And it's going to end with a Brainiac event itself, obviously featuring a lot of Superman characters, lore, and stuff like that. We've also got some creative teams, some of them very exciting. I think Dan Mora and Mark Waid on Shazam sounds pretty damn good. Philip Kennedy Johnson on a Green Lantern John Stewart series sounds pretty okay, but I'm tired of Tom King on Batman, and I certainly never ever wanted Mariko Tamaki on Hal Jordan. What the hell was that about?
I don't know. And I don't think that they're reading the room with that. And it's one of those things. Every time you hear from Mariko Tamaki anyway on books, it seems like she just gets told, hey, do you want to do this? Doesn't seem like anything that would have been pitched by her. Why get her? It seems like they're just like, well, she's not doing anything. Let's put her on that. And the only space kind of book that she's done is that Crush Lobo nonsense. And yeah, that is one of those things with all these announcements. When you end up seeing, I was excited. And then I looked at some of these creative teams, and it did pull me back. It pulled me back in the deal of why do this? And
we haven't had a Hal Jordan series in like 3 years.
Yeah. And I just don't get it. I would have rather have had Philip Kennedy Johnson on just a straight up Green Lantern core book and deal with all of the lanterns all together, because we haven't had a lot of those either. Kyle Rayner's just sitting around doing nothing.
He's
an
artist again.
Exactly.
Simon.
So yeah, I would have rather have had like that sort of deal. And again, I don't get Mariko Tamaki on a Hal Jordan book. I don't get it at all.
You need to give her something to do.
That's that's what I think it is.
You can always take her off the book.
Yeah, it's also that, look, she's one of those privileged writers that will constantly have a book, no matter how many times she tanks another one.
Yeah.
And those people eventually burn themselves out and get replaced by the next person that will always have a book, no matter how many times they tank it. I mean, and honestly, this isn't a new thing in comics. No. It's something that's been going on for at least 30 years. If not longer. There was always that one shitty writer. Even Chuck Austin had, he kept bouncing from book to book to book to book, driving sales down on everything he touched until he went back to doing his weird baseball porn comics. And
which Doc has a full run of.
Which I
batter up.
Yeah. Actually, I think that might have been the call. The name of the but I think it was spelled different. Never mind. Yeah, no, look, she's just the next in that line of creatives. The same way that, look, you're already building to that with Vita and Stephanie Phillips and whatever the other useless interchangeable Stephanie is in comics these days. They'll always have a book until they don't. And then they'll be out of comics and everyone will forget that they ever existed because they never wrote anything that sold worth a damn in the first place. And then they just get replaced by the next. I mean, at least.
And I'll say something about Mariko Tamaki. She doesn't exactly ruin the character. What she does, like Doc is saying, sets it up for the next writer to come on and actually be applauded when they do come on. I mean, she's like the Wally Pip of comics, I think, if anybody gets that anymore. But
yeah, she might be the one that she's the jobber. She's enhancement talent for you have a lot of people in comics right now that are enhancement talent for very mid-level, people that historically would have basically been the enhancement talent. They're not good enough to be marquees, but since they don't have marquees and they can't pay marquees anymore, they took the old enhancement talent, made them the marquee, called them the marquees. When that didn't work, they got even shittier replacement talent to go behind them to make them look good by comparison. It's kind of like the very mediocre looking skinny girl that hangs out with a fat chick to make herself look good by comparison.
Here's the thing with DC, though. I wish that, and you have, say, Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's a military guy, and he is on the John Stewart book. That makes sense. I wish that they would do that more often. I wish that they would have more of this deal of, tailoring at least the assignment to a writer that would make sense. And Mariko Tamaki to me does not make sense at all on a Hal Jordan book. And there are things that you can set up that her and her fans would actually, be better at. I don't think Hal Jordan's one of them. I really don't, especially with the lack of a Hal Jordan book.
There's one thing, though. Well, I mean, it says fan favorite Hal Jordan returns to Earth and to his blockbuster superhero action storytelling roots. So maybe it's going to be more grounded, melodramatic. Like, I don't necessarily.
Is that what we need, though, when we haven't had a Hal Jordan Green Lantern in a while? I mean, it'd still be good if that is done well.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Messner Loeb's Flash, and that for me was soapy as hell, melodramatic as anything, but it was very grounded in relationships. So I liked those 1 year later Green Lanterns where you have him in this love triangle with Cowgirl and Carol. I mean, I really enjoyed those story beats. I don't mind a little soapiness in my comic books.
But here's the thing. It is Mariko Tamaki.
Yeah.
So her writing it just means it's going to be Hal Jordan eating.
Yeah, he'll be eating while everybody else does things. Forget it's a Hal Jordan book.
The fat girl writes people eating. That's what she does.
She also loses track of any sort of narrative she's writing and usually focuses on other characters besides the main character, because a lot of times she doesn't really want to write those characters. She ends up throwing in other things like eating or, doing that. It just drives me nuts.
Or maybe it's an exploration of his pansexuality now.
No, maybe this will be the one, though. Yeah, really. Maybe this will be the idea that this will be the hit. I don't know. It's tough.
I do need to ask, where was Mariko Tamaki when Frank Miller left Daredevil as homeless and a short order cook? Because she could have written the shit out of that. That would have been, that's right in her fucking wheelhouse.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Just the next 60 issues of Matt Murdock just cooking in a diner. That's it.
I will give a little hint on Mariko Tamaki. The idea, and it happened during Detective Comics, when Hal Jordan comes out, go to her Twitter and see how many times she tweets anything about Hal Jordan Green Lantern, her own book. And if she does, then maybe she's a little excited about it. But I never see her talking about anything when she was on Wonder Woman. I mean, the woman was on Wonder Woman and Detective Comics. These are huge and barely squeak out of her about those. She was just pushing her indie stuff. This is all for her to extend the brand and get something to put on a resume. That's all it is. And DC's right there to, hand it right to her, it seems.
I got to say, one thing I'm really looking forward to, it caught my eye, is Unstoppable Doom Patrol, because I love Chris Burnham's art. What do you guys think about Chris Burnham?
The art's okay. It's not my type of style that I like. It looks okay, but it might fit the story. I don't know. I'm just not overly excited about anything.
Well, hopefully you can recharge your lantern and say the oath, in brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware our power, Green Lantern's light.
Yes.
Don't find a way to make that problematic. Okay.
Yeah, I like Chris Burnham's art. I actually like it. So yeah.
Ew, you said something bad about the dark.
But yeah, a lot of these announcements, I actually ended up excited about the art, but then that's a book that the writer I didn't like, or you end up it's a weird kind of combo with it. And I don't know, even as we go into it, I wonder why they're doing this, tethered deal, like, hey, a book in January, a book in May. It doesn't get that big excitement for new readers to jump on in my mind.
Well, maybe it's just to parse it out. Yeah,
it is to parse it out. I
so much
understand.
talent,
It's just when you get a bunch of announcements, you're like, oh man, I can't wait for Doom Patrol. What? I got to wait till May, and then people just forget, and the excitement goes down a bit. I wish
the excitement does go down.
Yeah. I wish there was more. As a big whole, to get that full idea of what this whole Dawn of DC is supposed to be and what it is. But that's what they're playing it over a year. So that's their plan. We'll see how it works.
There will be a hole. It will be a black hole, and the sails will get dragged down through it.
Yeah, nothing escapes.
Yes. First off, I'm looking at the preview art. That Doom Patrol does look good, and I know you guys probably already talked about it last week, but I have to talk about it now. That Mark Silvestri Batman Joker, I hated it.
Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, that's
I was
why
about
you
to say,
have terrible
what?
taste. This makes sense based on the Wakanda Forever tape.
No, I'm talking
Yeah.
about. I'm one of the biggest Mark Silvestri fans, Top Cow fans known to man.
Sounds like it.
But when I read this,
What didn't you like?
Oh my goodness.
everything.
Explain yourself.
Yeah.
You didn't like the art?
No, the art. Nah, it
Okay,
wasn't
kick
Mark's.
Jay.
It wasn't
Jay.
Mark's best.
Fake geek boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm guessing
blow.
everybody enjoyed it. Everybody had a good
I
time.
liked it
with
a lot. I gave it like
I liked
4.5
it a lot.
stars.
I didn't buy it because I'm not buying new comics. So
I was.
There you
shocked,
go,
man.
Cal Lyle. You don't have to worry what Fatal J has to say about anything, man. You don't even like the good stuff. Jim, did you like it? I know you read it.
I didn't like it as much as you.
Thank
but,
you, Jim.
But I thought it was good. I just
There
thought
you
that
go.
it was more of
Jim was
hey,
disappointed.
More of a
Well,
setup.
Jim
I was a little
disappointed.
disappointed from the
See?
hype of it, and I really, really expected more. I think that's more on me
I
at points.
expected more too. I think my hype was too high too, Jim.
I think that we have to wait till at least 2 or 3 issues for me and Fatal J. And,
Yeah.
and
It was
with
too
that,
short.
Yeah.
That was the
Yeah, it
problem.
was. And that's what I'm saying. It just started getting started. I thought it was going to be like blow the lid off of things after all that time. And yeah, I think the hype got me though, more than anything. It was one of the few books that I didn't read until like that Saturday. And so by that time, holy moly, people were frothing at the mouth on it. And when I read it, I just like, okay, it's good. It just,
Carrie.
but it was good.
Carrie, I'm gonna tell you what a comment did blow my socks off.
What?
I'm sorry, this is
Tim
Marvel.
Drake Robin?
I just want to say this real quick.
Exactly.
This is Marvel. I couldn't believe it was actually dope. It was a beautiful book. I enjoyed myself. Haven't enjoyed myself with a comic book in a long time.
Don't
Star
say
Wa-
Captain America.
No. Star Wars Vision. Did anybody read that book?
No.
Really?
no.
No.
Jim, you read it. Was it good?
It was good. Yeah. I mean, it didn't go
Jim,
that far.
That book was they should get an award for dropping that comic book, man. What are you talking about?
Well, there you go. I mean, if there's a fatal take for everybody. It was good. I mean, there's a lot of good books out there. The Star Wars line of books in general, I actually do like. I don't hear anybody talking about them, but I do like them. So it's nice that you like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I bought the other covers, man.
Really?
I usually don't do stuff like that, so I enjoyed myself with that one.
I got to say one thing. This Superboy, Man of Tomorrow in April, that's the round robin winner, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that's a leftover.
Yes.
Yeah,
This
that
means nothing. No.
No. Yeah, that actually threw me off when I saw that.
When are they going to do the next round robin so that we can see
During the
what
NCAA tournament. That's when they do it.
but when we can see the next 12 canceled series that are just pre-canceled.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make all 16 of them or however many
They're supposed
there
to
were.
do an anthology with the ones that didn't win. Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, and then it'll fail and it's fine.
Whatever.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We like setting our money on fire. It's fine.
Yeah, wasting it.
It's pretty crazy, Jim. If you saw the reaction to Dawn of DCU and the big announcements, I mean, obviously we already knew Tini Howard was coming on Harley Quinn. That sounds really bad. I think we got our first synopsis on that one. It was worse than you could have expected. But once you saw the announcement on this, a lot of people decided rather than jumping on because they're lifelong readers or maybe they've been staying out, they've decided to jump off, like the ones that had hung around.
Yeah, it's scary.
Who is Tini Howard, the woman that shows?
She's a fucking writer. What are you talking about?
I think he's thinking of Leah Williams.
Yeah, I was about to say he's talking about Leah.
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
The thing is, when you announced this big thing, I said that I think that hey, a book here, a book there, and people just see that and they looked at the same old with the creative teams. And it's more, I say creative teams, it's more writers. There's not that much of a problem with art in any of the comics deal. It's writers and the same old writers. And Tom King, you said it when we started this. It's like DC is trying to convince us all that Tom King is the greatest Batman writer, and they're going to do it with each book shoved down your throat. And when you end up announcing that this is the big thing to go forward with the DCU, and Tom King's involved in something that obviously it seems is in continuity, even fans of Tom King say, it's great. He's out of continuity. Don't worry about it. He's good. You put him in continuity, and that not everything like kicks it down a notch. After I looked, I was excited, and then each thing I looked into, I got a little less excited. But there are some things you said, Mark Waid and Dan Mora and Shazam. That sounds incredible. Like everybody will probably want to get that. And Joshua Williamson on Green Arrow, I'm looking forward to that. I'm not the biggest Joshua Williamson fan, but in Dark Crisis, even and some of the things leading up, Oliver's the best character in it. Even if you don't like what the overall story is, he's writing him very well. So I'm looking forward to that as well. But the other things just don't get me excited. And yeah, if you're teetering on the edge, this is where you're waiting for that next big thing to see if you're going to stick with it. And when you see it and you get let down, you're like, nah, I'm done. Like these people were already almost done. Now this just is it.
Mhm.
It's sad.
The one foot out the door.
Yeah, it's sad.
What are we thinking about these Superman designs? I'm liking it a lot.
I was right about to say that. I think they look kind of cool.
I love Kara's designs because, well, she in the late 70s, she was always changing up her fashion sense. So she always had she didn't have the one set iconic look. Although she does, I mean, she played with it a lot. So I'm liking what she's doing with the jacket, and I'm actually really interested in the twins. Are those the kids from Secret Identity from Earth
Those are
Prime?
the kids from War World.
Oh,
That
okay.
Superman adopted because he didn't get to raise John Kent. But they
Okay.
realized people wanted to see him be a dad, so they've imported 2 aliens like they did in Fantastic
Okay,
Four.
doke. Because I hope everyone out there in the show knows about Kurt Busiek and Stuart Eminem's Superman Secret Identity, and it's Earth Prime Superman, and he meets a Lois who is Indian American, and they have twin daughters. And so I'm like, oh, is that them? That would have been cool.
Yeah, these are castaways from War World.
Indeed. Okay, I get that now. I love
Hey.
Kong's design too. I love the yin and yang on it. Well, go figure. I made my own Superman logo with an ohm.
How many Superman do we need in the universe, though, Josh?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was about to
There's
say.
like fucking 8 of them.
Here's
There's 3
Yeah.
Supermans. There's Chinese Superman. There's real Superman and fake Superman.
yeah,
There's
Mhm.
like 2 Superboys, a Supergirl, and then twins now.
Yeah.
and Power Girl.
And Valzad.
Supergirl.
Valzad was there's some preview.
The problem with modern comics is all of the uniqueness to the characters has been diluted down
Exactly.
to a symbol that you can slap on anything. That does not make good stories. It does not make good comics. It does not make a good narrative. It makes a halfway decent sellable brand, and only for ancillary merchandise. Now, that ancillary merchandise might make you more money in the short term, but there's only been about maybe 30 years right now of major success, and even that has waxed and waned a decent bit during that 30 years of slapping the Superman logo, the Bat logo, the X logo, the Spidey logo onto products, and it being a huge moneymaker. Now, there's been years where it's been 100 times what the comics generated, but there's also years where it's been less than what the comics generated. Once again, the primary product for comics is comics. Everything else is ancillary. It might make them more money temporarily, but what has lasted for nearly 100 years now? We're at 85 years for Superman next year. You've got maybe 15 of those years where merchandise has made them more than the comics has. Every other year, it's
I
the
thought that
comics.
was good though.
Yeah, but the problem is you can't. They're now betting wholly on merchandise. When nerd shit becomes nerd shit again and not mainstream popular shit like it is in the short term, in the time we're living in right now, that's only been about the last 10 years.
Yes, sir.
When it goes back to that,
It's
when
coming
we
back
start
too.
when we start doing the smart thing and shoving nerds in lockers again, the comics
I would never
will be-
shove. I would never shove Sully in the locker.
I
He's
would.
lovely.
But when it becomes nerd shit again, they need to be able to rely as revenue, as the steady revenue generator of comics, and they're killing that by devaluing the individual IP to a symbol that they could slap on merchandise.
I don't know what you're talking about, but Superboy looks dope in that leather jacket.
Which
Ed,
one?
What you think?
Which
Yeah, I was
Superboy?
about to say which one.
Yeah, there's 3 in that fucking picture.
The classic
That's the
Superboy.
Metropolis kid there with that.
Connor
leather
Kent looks
jacket.
great.
Connor
And I
Kent looks great. I always been a sucker for him wearing the
like-
leather jacket from
yeah, from the 90s.
we got
the Upper
King.
Superman.
Return to Superman.
Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
problem is
Good
if they write a Connor Kent comic book, it's already been hinted at that it's going to be Megan Fitzmartin, and they're going to be digging into why he and Tim Drake Robin were holding hands in that one panel. She's already talked
Oh
about
my
it. That's what
goodness.
they're
Hold on,
doing.
but I thought that Superman wasn't like that. I thought it was Superman.
Everything's mutable now, man. These are just I mean, it's not about our love of the
Oh,
characters.
man.
It's about the mission statement of the writer, her usually herself or themselves. But I just want to say I love the design of the Superman logos on their chests, such as Jonathan Kent's. Like he's got that Earth 2 stylized one. I really enjoy that, and I love Kong's Yin and Yang. But I love that they've kept Kal-El with his the most traditional and marketable that trademark Superman-esque that we're so
sir.
used to seeing. We've kept that. Yeah, thank you.
We'll see how it goes.
Hey, if you're a Superman fan, there's probably going to be more Superman content than we've had for at least a decade now, because he's going to be all over the place. Obviously, the character is going to be very big from Dawn of DCU. They're moving toward a Brainiac event. I just, Superman's not really popular as far as sales right now, but the character is a big point of emphasis for David Zaslav and Warner Brothers Discovery. Hopefully, they do the character justice. We are getting Joshua Williamson on Superman now. He's going to be doing the primary book. They are wrapping up the John Kent Superman atrocity that's going up, and it'll be finished up in a miniseries. And they're going to be telling a bunch of stories in Action Comics, Jim.
Yeah, it looks like an anthology deal, and you have Dan Jurgens for 6 issues on that. That should be pretty good. Leah Williams for Fatal J over there. We have her on for 3 issues. That'll probably suck. But at least you have that rotating deal. I don't know. I hope that they haven't said, I hope Philip Kennedy Johnson stays solid on that. And then you have 2 other writers jump in. And it's a better price point than, say, in Urban Legends. But you even mentioned about Joshua Williamson on Superman. One of the things about going forward with DC is I think a lot of people forgot about the main books and what is changing, like an Action Comics or a Superman. And I just hope that I hope people give it at least a shot, even if it's something that you think, oh, I don't like that writer. We'll all give it a shot. I'm hoping. I have my fingers crossed. That'll be good. And even the idea of that Penguin book, because Tom King has 2 books that are announced. And that Penguin book, and I said something like a Mariko Tamaki doesn't seem to fit a Hal Jordan, but this Penguin book seems like a crazy premise, but Oswald's going to go and be a government agent. And maybe that will be something Tom King is in his wheelhouse. It seems very odd, but
You know what's got me freaked out, Jim? This is what got me freaked out. So when we come out of Dark Knight's Death Metal and we go through Future State, they set up all the stuff that we're going through right now, this big event, Dark Crisis, in Infinite Frontier 0, and then Infinite Frontier, the miniseries, and then in Justice League Incarnate, another miniseries, all by Joshua Williamson. So Joshua Williamson was planning this event out for like 2 years or something like that. He's executing it now. I think it's gone very poorly. And we know the next big event is Superman versus Brainiac.
Yeah.
And so he's
on
setting
the
this up
Superman
for
book.
another year. It's like, this guy just fucked the
I know.
fucked everything up with this one event. Why are we giving him another event?
And I know people will give him a little slack, and he might be overworked, but that's how it is. He's accepting these. He's doing it. And I don't think he's that writer. I don't think he's that big let's get this universe started. Let's do these events. I really think
He's good
needs
on
help.
characters and defining characters. He's not good on big universe
No,
expanding stuff.
I think that he is not good at like overall big stories in general because everything peters out by the end. If you look at everything he does, he sets up things, they get wow moments, and then it's just like you don't have anything from that. He needs help, and I wish
Like
they would
Flash
go
War,
back to
the end of,
yeah.
it sucked.
Yeah, this is, and even, you know, at points in the Flash book that people really liked, each individual arc did tend to kind of fizzle out by the end, and then you'd move on to the next wow moment. He's good at wow moments, but he's not good at overall, I think, plotting of a huge story that's supposed to go. And yeah, I worry about that he would be involved, but it almost comes down to a deal. I think that actually Doc asked me way back, who else are you going to get? I mean, yeah, there's
They
Jeff
don't have
Johns, there's
anybody
Mark
else.
Waid. Maybe you
Mark
have to
Waid's
get
doing Lazarus play.
yeah, he's doing that. And if that goes well, maybe it'll shift things. I think they need a conglomerate of writers for these events. Get a couple heads into it like
They
they
need a
did at
chief
Point.
creative officer that
We-
actually knows how to write stories
Yeah,
and manage universes.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
what you need is a fucking committee. They already are run by committee. The committee
Yeah,
is
that's
a
what
bunch
they
of
need.
weirdos that talk to them on Twitter. That is the committee that they run their fucking industry off of. And we wonder why it sucks.
Coming in hot.
So no, you don't need a committee of unimaginative fools to make an event. In fact, that would make it even worse. We saw that with AVX. We saw that with Axis. We saw that currently with Axe Judgment Day. Committees creating events is terrible, and it never works.
Right.
Let's hear what the people have to say. We do have some super chats to get through. Thank you to everybody for supporting the channel. Super chats are live if you would like to support Taking Critical YouTube and help keep us on the air. I really appreciate that. Callum says, do you think Tamaki gets work because she's gay? I'm sure that plays a part in it, but I think mostly she gets work because she probably gets it done on time and she's cheap.
Yeah. Did Paul
Yeah.
Lind?
She
Yeah.
would, they can pay her in Oreos, so it's fine.
Doc, yes.
I'm sure
And
they don't pay her in
She
Oreos.
does have a resume
Okay,
that sounds
Hostess
impressive
Twinkies.
too, but yeah.
Hostess Twinkies, fine.
Yes.
That's
She
why
had
they
a
didn't
couple
get
of
rid of
coming
them.
of age graphic novels that means that she's
Exactly.
a superhero writer.
Yeah, that's the problem. She doesn't fit the actual stories that she gets put on.
Absolutely. Cal Lyle also says Tom King's Penguin will be about him wishing he married his mommy and happy he killed his kids and hates his wife, like Jerry Duggan on Freeze.
And like Tom King on everything else. Yeah, so correct.
It
Here's the
fits
deal.
better with Penguin than an actual hero. though.
Well, maybe he can fix something because Tom King legitimately in his Batman run said that Penguin had sex with Penguin. So maybe he will fix that one little thing at least, right? We'll
that
see
did
him with
happen.
Yeah, it did. And it's awful. I don't know. The whole misery thing actually, I think, works a little better with the Penguin than a lot of other characters anyway. So maybe, he'll do something worthwhile.
We'll get to Jerry Duggan on Freeze. It's one of the
Yeah.
topics I'll make sure that we get to because that was a take, I guess. Common Sense says, Hal Jordan and fans can't catch a break. I'm sorry. Absolutely not.
You could
Wait.
insert any character besides Hal Jordan recently. I mean, really, you could have, anyone there because it's true. DC's having problems right now.
Hey, you know what? You know what'll make the Green Lantern books even better? More Human Lanterns.
Yeah.
That's totally what they need. They don't have enough already.
We got about 10 right now. We've got TY. Jace Fox's book appears to be ending at issue 18. It'll just be another miniseries or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 18 issues is not bad. It lasted. That book never had a direction. It started out with the whole it didn't make sense to even start that way. It should have been Batwing, and you could have done something with that, or just a totally new character. But yeah,
And Batwing has a cool design. Like there was stuff.
I
to work
love the
with.
design of Batwing. I think it's the greatest. And have a cover with that suit in the dark and it glowing. It's the best thing ever. I think it's cool.
Or-
got to drop the
And
ball.
here's an
Well,
idea. No more Bat characters.
Yeah, that'd be nice too.
The families are getting too big. That's for certain.
Yeah.
Common Sense says
The family
in
shouldn't
Super
exist.
Miguel. In Common Sense says in Super Miguel, remember from Future State House of L. I thought we were going to revisit that with Philip Kennedy Johnson, but it never seemed to come about. Jim. You heard that
he had
rumor,
that
right?
annual, and then after that, yeah, I think that it's one of those things. How do you fit it in anymore? Because people love
The House of L stuff on Future State was like one of the 3 or 4 best things that they did.
People loved it. So I would think that we'll see something more eventually. You'll have it. It'll be in Philip Kennedy Johnson. If he stays on Action Comics, you'll have this one shot where all of a sudden you'll check in with him or something like that. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Aaron, the way you pour that coffee, you got a sponsor or something?
Hey man, what are you doing?
Oh,
Don't do that, Fatal J. You're interrupting the show for fucking coffee talk. This is nerd talk, sir.
coffee talk.
Unless that coffee is branded by DC Comics or has something to do with the Hulk, we don't need to hear about it.
Sir
We know
West,
the man pours a fantastic cup of coffee. We've seen it.
Sir West, I am so sorry for interrupting the
Fatal
show.
J, just
Please.
anything on his mind, just interrupting this stuff.
I don't know. He just made it look so delicious when he poured it. I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah.
I'm a professional chef.
He's
I
a
make
chef.
food look good, man.
He was pouring that stuff. My stomach was
It's like a
growling.
coffee
I'm just
model.
going
Everyone
there in a
knows
minute.
this.
Like and subscribe. I am the Sultan of Soup.
The way he poured that, West, made me want to go in the kitchen right now and get a cup. I'm sorry. It just
You know, I'm pretty sure the chat won't mind if you just get up and walk away.
Kenneth Dowling says, hello, everyone. Working overtime this weekend, but I wanted to say hi. Fatal J, if you want to like bad movies, that is 100% your right.
yes, it is.
Someone finally supporting Fatal J, and we hope that you're having a wonderful weekend, Kenneth Dowling, and hopefully overtime isn't pushing you too hard and you're making a, time and a half or something. Not sure how the job works there, but Fatal J has a lot of fatally bad takes when it comes to movies and comic
yes,
books
I does.
and basically everything. Fatal J,
Yes, I
congratulations. And he likes to interrupt the show for no
does.
reason.
Man, I'm sorry. The coffee looked good, man. I'm
It
sorry.
was a coffee break.
Yeah.
My goodness. We've also got Calamile saying, I gave up on Batman months ago. It's all communist Vidal crap. And if they touch Starfire, I will lose it. Is there an anti-straight message now? I don't know if there's an anti-straight message, but Vidal is not on Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
I was about to say
That's a weird play. One of the best books right now, and
is.
yeah,
It's Chip Zdarsky.
it's the opposite of that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
What
that
are
he might.
the only 2
Maybe
DC
he's
comics?
Maybe
tossing
she
a-
wrote something in like an Urban Legends. That wouldn't surprise me, but I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's weird.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't know. If you mean Detective Comics, but that's Ram V. I don't know.
There's no way Starfire's coming into Green Lantern, even though Mariko Tamaki created that character. That right? I am not Starfire. What was her name?
Yeah,
Oh.
I know what you're
Mandy.
saying.
Mariko Tamaki. Her name
No,
was
her
Mariko
name was
Tamaki.
Mandy in
I
the
don't
comic
care
book.
what the character's name was. The character was Mariko Tamaki.
It's true.
Well, Starfire probably should show up at the altar and break up Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon's wedding if that ever happens. It sounds like it's
Yeah.
going to be happening with the next few buds. So we'll see there. As far as the anti-straight message, maybe it's so you can see a lot of things if you look hard enough. Lade Kraber. So how do you feel how DC is doing the Dawn of DC rollout books over 6 to 8 months? Do you like this, or would you prefer they do it as one big launch?
I said already. I wish that there was
Yeah.
more of a bigger launch right away. It
Yes.
gets people excited, and they'll get to the shop to do it. Not
And
hey,
it feels
that
like
book-
real change instead of like
Yes, that's what it feels like. Dribs and drabs now. It feels like, again, if you're excited about Doom Patrol, or you're excited about the Penguin book by Tom King, I'll see in 6 months. And that doesn't get, I don't think people are going to say, oh my God, Tom King on Penguin. I think I'll buy Joshua Williamson's Green Arrow. I don't see it go like that.
Additionally, announcing stuff like this 6 months out is a great way for people to forget that it
Forget it.
happens in
Yeah.
6 months. This is the reason why. I mean, we can go back to it's like they learned all the worst lessons from the 90s collapse. People were really looking forward to those Image books on launch, and then they ended up 6 months
Yeah.
delayed on like issue 4. And guess what? People forgot about them, and by the time they came out, even when they saw them on the shelf, they skipped them.
Also, another thing that kind of comes out with this, just in my opinion, Jim, is it almost feels like they didn't know what they actually wanted to do. So this stuff is all staggered because they didn't like have a clear vision, and they were just adding stuff as it went along.
Yeah.
That they actually
And
wanted to plan out.
the one thing you can say as a positive is maybe that will mean that as the books come out, they will be able to reference and get a more coherent universe together because things had already happened. But the other thing that I worry about is if you are excited for, say, a book that comes out in June, but yet you're like, hey, I want to see what's going on. And say one of these books or they bomb, then you're done with the rest. I mean, you're really setting up the real pressure on all these books really hitting. And if they don't, then, oh, this is a bust. Oh, this sucks. And then you're done. I mean, it doesn't take much. That DC doesn't realize how easy it is to lose readers and how hard it is to regain them back. They just don't get it. And so when you end up having these things staggered like this, I just think they think it's the movie. They think it's the Marvel MCU, but movies take time to make and you have to stagger them because of the way that works out. You don't have to do that with comic books. They should have something, and it feels like a coherent thing. Then it feels like something big, and this doesn't feel big.
I just want to say it's given me something to look forward to, though. I mean, I'm not planning on it. I'm not doing my entire calendar around it, but to have a nice influx of new titles, you know, in the next couple of months, that perks my interest. I want a reason to keep going back to my local comic book shop and to see new offerings, eye-catching stuff. Like there are several things in this Dawn of DCU I'm looking forward to, like Shazam. But that's not coming out till when? June? But that looks, look at that cover art. You got the 12-year-old spirit of Billy Batson coming through, riding a dinosaur. That's so fun. Sign me up.
Zach Richmond says, if you got to have Leah Williams write a character, Power Girl seems like one she could relate to.
She's too fat for it.
Oh, man.
They got a few things in common, Doc. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
Zach
they got
Richmond
two things.
Justin Adams, Batman with Chip seems really good. Is he long term? As far as I know, he has stated that he's going to be on the character at least 2 or 3 years. So it feels like it's long term. This isn't a title that's going to get changed over during a Dawn of DCU. The sales are already very robust. It is, as far as I know, the number one selling comic book in the entire industry. So I think he'll keep going with that. And I agree with you that Batman with Chip Zdarsky is absolutely fantastic right now. It's something that everyone should be reading. Yes. Blade Kraber, don't forget Cotter apologizes for dying like a hero. Yeah, it was his fault he died. That Young Justice. We'll get to Young Justice.
Superboy Prime's fault.
Goblin says, Doc, Bruce Timm created an all-new Alien Green Lantern for God and Monsters sequel, but it got scrapped. Hope Wade gets God and Monsters and Big Bang or Bruce Timm here, or brings Bruce Timm here.
I have no idea what any of that's supposed to mean.
You were bitching about there's too many human lanterns, and he's saying that Bruce Timm created a lantern that got scrapped.
I got that. Okay. That it didn't get created.
I don't know why Mark Waid would get to do it because it's Mariko Tamaki and Philip Kennedy Johnson. He's doing Shazam.
Yeah,
but
I got nothing.
I would read a Kilowog series, but I'm probably the only one. There's probably a reason.
No, sign me up, Poozer.
I would read one too.
Yeah,
I would.
I would definitely like some more lanterns that weren't human.
I'd like
Daydreams and Nightmares. Love the Thinking Critical channel. Thanks. Well, thank you very much for supporting us, and I'm glad you are enjoying the channel and the live stream. I do need to tell people right now, I haven't mentioned this yet, but I am going on vacation starting in 2 days. If you come back here on Saturday, we will not be here. There will be no Thinking Critical Comics Aficionados next Saturday because I will still be on vacation, but I'm returning on Sunday. So on a special time, Comics Aficionados is next weekend. Next Sunday, we're going to have Aaron Sparrow. We're going to have Eric Breen. I believe Sully has already signed up, Doc, and we'll have one other special guest on there. So if you're looking for Thinking Critical Comics Aficionados next weekend, it will be on Sunday. What are you saying, Fatal J? This better be important.
StreamYard, you can give me your StreamYard password, and I will take over the show for Saturday.
No. It's going to feel like
that will be the greatest idea ever.
This is like putting Vita on the X-Men. All it's going to do is just drive customers away.
What's going to come back? I didn't say that. What happened to my channel?
If they see me, just me, Saturday at this time, people in the chat, let me know, would you be here and enjoy the stream? All 300 people, let me know.
I've already
You
made
want that
3
to-
videos for next Saturday, man. It's
I
already
think
done.
you should make a community post and say, do
Look
you
at
want
Zach.
a Comic Aficionados Fatal J special on Saturday?
The
for
Fatal
3
J
hours
holiday
straight?
special.
For 3 hours straight,
I'm
just
gonna have a
me.
thumbnail of Fatal J as a Wookiee with an apron on, and he could be.
Yeah.
is the
Chewbacca's
day of
wife.
peace, a day of love. I can sing the
That's a
Wookiee
great
holiday
idea,
song.
Fatal J. But we've already made the plans. I've already made the videos. They're already uploaded and all that good stuff. And I'm gonna
Alright,
take
man.
care of it on Sunday.
All
So
right, man.
be
All
looking
right.
out for that. So it'll be on a special day next weekend, and we will have Eric Breed and Aaron Sparrow. So that's gonna be fun. Cal Lyle says I mentioned Vita because she pisses me off with Wonder Woman and especially Nubia because that's a character I would love to write and build her up. She did fuck up Nubia, no doubt in that one. And her Wonder Woman, well, she hasn't done much with Wonder Woman other than tying it into Nubia. Obviously, she co-wrote the Trial of the Amazons, but Wonder Woman did absolutely jack shit in that event, so probably doesn't really matter. But I know that you are a big fan of Nubia and you've been doing your own stories and stuff, so you probably care about that character far more than Vita Ayala does. HH from Sigma Comics. Shout out to Wes, Mixmaster, Fatal J, and the best comic book experts from Anime New York City. Last week to get Here Comes Calico #6 on Kickstarter. Get it today. Well, congratulations. I think I was supposed to get this out last week, but I forgot to tell the story. HH and Sigma Comics are no longer banned from Reed Pop. They finally had their discussion, and they came to a decision to rescind the ban. I hope that we played a part in that. We did a video. We did a discussion with HH talking about that, and we got a positive outcome. Unfortunately, they did miss New York City Comic Con this year, but they are at Anime New York City, and they will be there next year, so that was a very great thing. And if you're in the area, definitely go see Anime New York City, and definitely support Here Comes Calico on Kickstarter.
Calico.
Congratulations, HH. That's good news.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. TY says, my guess is Titans pilot arc in Nightwing with Tom Taylor and Travis Moore on a Titans monthly once John Kent miniseries is done. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Tom Taylor on a Titans book or a Teen Titans book.
That would make sense. Yeah.
I could definitely see that one happen. He's going to have to be on a big character. And apparently they do want him doing ongoings, which I think is a mistake. But the sales on Nightwing are good. In comparison to everything else, it's doing well. Douglas Nelson, DC should scrap everything but World's Finest and use World's Finest as a template for all other titles going forward. I would support that idea.
I've said that. I think they kind of might be trying that, but there's only one Mark Waid and one Dan Morris, so that's the problem. But I even think the idea of what he's doing, Tom Taylor could easily, do that as well. He just gets caught up in just minutia too much. He's got to let loose a bit and treat his regular run books almost like they are Elseworlds books where he actually, expands characters and tells a story. But yeah, I think that they could get to that. I wish that there was more of a feel of that in those new announcements, but we'll see when the books come out.
Blade Kramer says, I forgot it was Superboy on Superboy Crime. I'm assuming that Superboy's beating up other Superboys.
Yeah, totally. That was Superboy Prime who murdered Connor Kent and in an Infinite Crisis.
There you go.
Tore his hand came clean off, man.
Well,
Wonder
it's
Girl
Connor's
was fine.
Kent's fault. He shouldn't have died because that made made Cassie Sandsmark sad.
It made Timmy sad too. I mean, geez. Poor Tim.
Calvin says, I meant Dark Crisis Big Bang by Mark Waid. That makes a lot more sense. That's his big Dark Crisis one shot with a couple other writers on there as well. I would not expect that, but it would be a welcome addition to get some more Green Lantern action and a couple more lanterns in there. Would be happy about that. Happy Steve says, Wes, do not let Jay near your stream or rest in peace, Thinking Critical.
I disagree.
Fatal J, the people have spoken.
Yeah.
I got your back, Jay.
It's all good, man. Happy Steve. You might be right.
Love you.
James Hannaford, Fatal J solo Saturday, the real Dark Crisis event.
Ooh.
Dark Crisis on Thinking
Infinite.
Critical.
Dark Crisis on Infinite Burritos.
And shout out to another stream that I actually do called Dark Council on every
Nice.
Wednesday. Boom.
I never get invited to, even though we've been.
Here you go again. There you go, man.
I'm sorry, your start time does not work with my.
Yes,
sleep time.
exactly.
That's what it is.
Yes.
Fatal J is actually very accommodating, a very good friend. I don't want people to get the wrong impression about it. He's a teddy bear.
Yes, I am. And
Cal
my Phillips
Miles
get hurt
says-
easily.
No, keep Taylor away from the Titans.
Hmm.
I'm with you, man. After reading X-Men Red, I'd hate to see what he does to the Titans. He's not good on team books. Yeah, there you go. We've got Justin Adams. Action Comics 1050. Is that a good starting point? The new Stargirl is essential for what's coming. Batman versus Robin, I've really enjoyed, as well as Batman Superman World's Finest. Are they still going to be around? So Action Comics 1050 is essentially the relaunch of the Superman family and what they're going to do with it. They're wrapping up the stuff that they did on Warworld, along with the stuff that they did in Superman Son of Kal-El. Action Comics 1050 is probably a good jumping on point if you're interested in the future direction of what they're going to do with Superman. That's where we're going to get the introduction of the new Superman title from Joshua Williamson. Absolutely. The new Stargirl being essential to what's coming, probably to the stuff that Jeff Johns is doing with the JSA, probably not as much when it comes to the full DC continuity as far as the events coming up and Dawn of DCU and stuff like that. That's just my opinion on that one. I'll let Jim jump in here at the end to give his thoughts, because he actually has some behind the scenes connections. Batman versus Robin is a miniseries. It's more, and it's setting up this event, Lazarus Planet, in issue number 4. We will have this big volcanic eruption. So that's a miniseries, but Batman, Superman World's Finest will continue, which that spun out of to begin with. So that's kind of what's going on. And then we're going to have Mark Waid and Dan Moore moving over to Shazam. If you're enjoying Batman, Superman World's Finest, and I'm glad that you are, you probably want to check out Shazam. What are your thoughts on all this, Jim?
I agree exactly what you said. I think it's a good jumping on point with Action Comics, even if it's just for the first round of stories, because that is kind of that anthology feel, almost like an Urban Legends, where you can end up reading that. If it's not for you, you'll end up being able to jump off on whatnot. But yeah, the other Stargirl, if you want to go with that Jeff Johns verse, the stuff, if you're interested in JSA as well, I would say it's essential for that, but not overall. And Batman versus Robin, yeah, it's a mini, but I would read that. Obviously, he's enjoying it. So right on to Lazarus Planet and continue reading Batman, Superman. And then, like, it's cool because Justin, he said earlier that he's just getting into things and whatnot. There are other books that you should pick up if you're not reading Flash. There's, other things going on as well. But yeah, I think that you definitely put Shazam already on your pull list because, like Doc said, you'll forget by the time it comes. And even with that thing, I just wanted to say one thing quick about that is just wait until we get to like April, May, where people are going, hey, isn't there that book that was going to come out? And they'll already start asking questions because people forget. So I would say that book, most people should put on their pull list right away so that they don't forget about it.
Very nice. I hope that helps out, Justin. And I hope you enjoy Action Comics 1050. And I'm glad you're enjoying Batman Superman, because that is the best comic book that you can get these days. Ryan Wilson says, I challenge you to have one Comics Aficionados without any negativity or talking about current issues. The problem is that the Comics Aficionados is a current issues program. We've been doing it every Saturday for about 4.5 years now. We have had a few specials here and there where we talk about something specifically that isn't really in current issues, but no one would ever come to the stream. So perhaps we could do this for like a Christmas special, but that being a theme of the channel, or that being what this live stream is going to be, is likely not going to be in the future of the Comics Aficionados. I hate to break that one to you. Talk about your favorite comics in history, and we do that. We talk about their favorite comics every single Saturday here on the channel with Best of the Week. I certainly highlight the comic books that I do like. We've definitely highlighted the history and events when we do the retrospective and stuff like that. So all of that is actually available right here on the channel if that's what you're looking for. But we are going to talk about current comic books because this is a current comic book channel. That's what we do.
Yeah.
This man handled this like James Bond. It was so, you did it so smooth, the way you handled that. See, me, I would have lost it. Man, what are you talking about? We're always positive on this show.
Not always positive.
I am never
we got
positive
Eric
on
for.
this show.
Doc, you're definitely not always positive.
But if in better days, the shows were absolutely more positive. Go watching the stuff when we were talking about House of X, Powers of 10, and we were really excited about what was the before King and Black. It was Absolute Carnage and stuff like that. Right now, we're in a low period. DC is at its lowest period ever. X-Men are pretty much in their lowest period ever. There are some things out there that are very positive right now. Batman, Superman, World's Finest being one of them. Flash being one of them. Moon Knight is a really good series over there at Marvel Comics, but is Moon Knight ever going to be a big thing at Marvel? It doesn't feel like they're highlighting it right now. So we can only cover the stuff that's actually in the news and what's relevant to the week.
And
Perhaps on Christmas, we will try to do something which is everyone come together and doing Kumbaya, because everyone will be doing this stuff on Christmas weekend anyway.
Well, negativity is subjective anyway. That's just a view. All we're doing is critiquing. That's all we're doing.
Absolutely.
I am very positive about not buying comics.
Doc is positive. The comic books suck. I got you. Trey Dotson, Batman Brave and Bold, like the 07 to 010 volume, or Urban Legends. Like, if it's like the previous Brave and the Bold, yes, it needs to be like World's Finest. Urban Legends was really bad. It was really, really expensive. We'll see what happens with Brave and the Bold. I imagine they put that title on there for a reason, because they do want to suggest that there's going to be a flavor of that comic book that is more in line with what they've done previously with that series than Urban Legends. We won't know until we see it, but Tom King writing a Batman story for at least the debut issue is not the start I think I wanted to see. Grateful Dog, Roland King, King of Spies versus John Wick. So the King of Spies guy is basically James Bond with a healthier appetite for actually murdering people, but he is old. So I think I got to go with John Wick.
It depends. Look, that James Bond, that version of James Bond, essentially, he's at the end of his fucking line. He has nothing to lose, and really doesn't care if he dies in the process. John Wick wants to win and wants to live. So
John Wick is getting dumber by the movie.
Shut
you mean
up.
to tell me everybody is an assassin?
Yes, everyone's an assassin. That's the whole point of that world. Like, there is hundreds of them.
The first movie.
All right, we're not critiquing the world of John Wick and the movies themselves. Who wins, Roland King from King of Spies or John Wick? Fatal J, who you got?
John Wick all the way.
Absolutely.
Doc. I think that this is close. I think in a straight up fight, hand to hand fight, John Wick wins.
He's got dad strength. Roland King does. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does. Roland King, he has a plan, but it doesn't look like he could really, let's just say, call audibles that well. His plans kind of have
Spies
to work.
look dope. I need to read this.
It's King really, Spies, really, really, really good.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I would have loved for that series to go on another. That should have been a 20 issue, like maxi series. I believe
that will be like probably a prequel or something like that. Jim, who you got? You got the guy from King of Spies or John Wick?
I'm going John Wick. Just go John Wick every time.
He's going to shoot him in the face, murder him.
Exactly, that's it, with a pencil.
Yeah, with a pencil.
While he's running into him for higher velocity.
Thank you very much for that one, Grateful Dog. I guess some people don't like the hero fights and stuff, but I always think they're fun.
They're cute. That's the fuel of
stuff.
That's local comic book shop, man.
Yeah, that's nerd stuff. That's
that's
where you get the comic shop.
What's his name?
Somebody was busting Kenneth's balls last weekend or the weekend before. I didn't get it, but
somebody dog.
Sounds like somebody's got a dog. It must be Doc. We've got Disney continuing to push their lifestyle brand as they lose billions hand over fist. I don't know, Doc. It feels like the word lifestyle just means other people's lifestyles rather than like Nike lifestyle where you're going to be in shape. And if you buy our equipment, this stuff will be happening. What do you think about Disney's lifestyle push?
I don't know what an entertainment company means by lifestyle. It means, are you just going to wear a lot of our clothes and buy a lot of our products? Like, it almost feels like it's not That's like saying Apple evangelists live in Apple. They are a lifestyle brand because they're Apple evangelists.
Yes.
They're a tech company that make phones and computers and tablets. That's it. Disney is an entertainment company that makes T-shirts and lunch boxes and sells you tickets to amusement parks and movies. That's it. So I don't see how that is a lifestyle brand. But that being said, they're not trying to, they have no real clear idea of what that lifestyle that they're trying to sell you is, because they're simultaneously selling it's a family park while funding and pushing a lot of things that are questionably family friendly. So at what point is it actually a lifestyle brand? They don't know what the lifestyle that they're pushing is. I think it's just an excuse to be a haphazard mishmash of trying to sell you every product for every single. When they start selling furniture, that's when they're a lifestyle brand.
Or a casket, like kits.
Yeah, like they're already selling you like T-shirts. They don't sell you pants yet. They sell you shoes.
Well, remember the Disney store of the 90s. They were in malls everywhere in America. And so Disney really has always kind of been a lifestyle brand. The hats, the sweatshirts, the availability of knickknacks and the such. Like I'm in Boston. We had like 4 Disney stores in different malls.
I get that, but that doesn't make it a lifestyle brand. That makes it Walmart. Walmart is not a lifestyle.
It's a choice. People, no, Disney people. You had a really good fair comparison to Apple. I'm an Apple brand. I've been an Apple owner for 20 years, and it's a brand association thing. Apple kind of is an elite brand, and it pleases me to buy those products.
Yeah, I get that, but it's not a lifestyle brand. They're hawking products at you. Now Disney just happens to hawk different and more products at you than Apple does. If Apple could open, if they could open Steve Jobs Land tomorrow, and you're riding around a roller coaster that's shaped like a circuit board from the Apple IIe, maybe it'd be kind of fun, but nobody would get it. And so Disney as a lifestyle brand, they don't know what the lifestyle they're selling you is. It's just buy product. It's I guess consumer lifestyle where all you do is just mindlessly consume. That's I guess a lifestyle.
I think it's also them trying to say, well, we promote certain lifestyles too, so that's why you should buy our products.
Sure. I mean, Disney's always been the brand of rainbows and fairies. And I mean that literally, not in any kind of vernacular. I mean, it's been, and so they just want to sell pride products like all the time. Why not?
Well, I mean, that's fine, but they're not concentrating really on the right thing. You can't have the merchandise unless you have the quality entertainment.
You have you have their hegemony of their product and IPs. Little Mermaid has proven you can sell that shit over and over and over again for years. Like Mickey and the wizard hat, people don't even know what Fantasia is, but they'll still buy that.
But when that new Little Mermaid movie drops, which product is going to sell? The original Little Mermaid, not the new movie version of Little Mermaid.
That'll come and go like every other live action remake. There seems to be, a very iconic version that's a repeated seller, and that is the evergreen product,
And there's the word iconic. They're not really creating iconic products anymore.
I agree.
Right, derivative and retreads,
or just quickly forgotten flavor of the month. I mean, does anybody remember the last Disney animated movie that had longevity after a week after it hit the theaters?
I like the one with all the feelings. I thought that was a great movie.
I like
Is it-
the one with the-
do you
I like
remember
the
the
dragon.
name of it?
Do
Was
Pixar's
it Inside Out or something?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Inside
like the
Out.
one with the dragons. Is that Disney? The one with the dragons? They
Nah, that's
No.
DreamWorks.
That's
Oh,
House of the
How-
Dragon. That's House of the
House
Dragon.
of-
Right?
How to Train Your Dragon.
Hey, you know House of the Dragon stole that from that dragon cartoon.
I hope so.
The fight scene.
What
Yeah.
Pete's Dragon? I love Pete's
We're going
Dragon.
off.
What?
I think Inside Out, Doc. That's the last one I really remembered loving. Really enjoyed.
Yeah, but does it have like the staying power, say, Beauty and the Beast?
Well, Beauty and the Beast was like up for Best Picture now. That's one of the best animated movies of all times.
Yeah, but we're talking about the new products coming out is not going to sustain the merchandise.
Well, they're not doing
for this
anything as
lifestyle.
good as Inside Out anymore. Everything comes out with these stupid, like, little hidden messages in all of them. You have to pre-screen everything from Disney nowadays, just as a parent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they got a new one coming out about a space family, and like the marketing is identity forward, and it's like
Yeah, not the story.
That's what it seems to be. That's what it
Yeah,
seems.
Frozen has longevity. Mr. Me had it. Frozen.
Frozen.
You
Yeah.
had
Oh,
all
yeah,
the dresses,
Frozen.
you had the toys, you had the songs. They were
Yeah,
all on
that
the
was-
radio.
Yeah.
I missed
Kid-
that one. Thank
The
God.
kids were going nuts over Frozen, man.
You know what's crazy? If you watch Frozen, the hero's a bad guy. Like, she destroys the world.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the Disney princess. This is the model for modern femininity. Yeah.
I used to hear that stupid song all the time.
Did you have a Frozen shirt, Fatal J? I could see that.
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. That cartoon was pretty good, man. It made me shed a single tear.
But
Like
see,
the-
my point is, if they want to create a lifestyle brand off marketing, their new stuff is not really going to carry it. It's not going to have the longevity like their old stuff.
Well, their version of pushing the lifestyle brand is like different alternative lifestyles. I think that's where
Yes.
the big misconception is. And when you put all that stuff forward, and that is your marketing, and that's the message you want to put out, it just alienates people. It's like, I never wanted to see a movie about that.
Mhm.
If that's what it's
Hmm.
about, like maybe I should go and look for something else. And I just, they're an entertainment juggernaut. They're an experience company, obviously with their cruise lines and their theme parks and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But who wants to live the Disney lifestyle? Like I like Marvel Comics, but I know that I'm never going to be a superhero just because I have the toys and the shirts.
Mhm.
It's impossible.
But we buy that. There you go. We buy the shirts because we love wearing the gear that we identify with. That is our lifestyle.
They have good logos.
Yeah, they're cool stuff too, man. I mean,
I buy
love
Royals
stuff.
jerseys because I like the team. I don't want to live the Royals lifestyle. You have like a mouthful of sunflower seeds and chewing tobacco or something.
It smells
I'm
like
wearing-
liniment and gym bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a Penguins hoodie right now. That doesn't mean I'm living. Actually, I kind of do live a hockey.
What
life.
the hell there, Duck? So am I. I'm actually wearing my Penguins hoodie too, and I'm not Sidney Crosby, and I don't want to be
Yeah.
though.
We
Actually, I
have too
kind of
much
wish I
Pittsburgh
was.
representation on the panel.
Yeah, I
is what
wish
it
I
is.
was.
Yeah, every time, dude. I swear, Pittsburgh is comic mecca.
Yes.
We got a lot of comic shops too. It's kind of
Yes, we
great.
do.
Good
Yeah,
sandwiches.
but again, this whole thing, I read superhero comics. I watch these movies because I want to see somebody who's better than me and not me, and somebody I could look up to and even just enjoy. Because I don't want to see the same nonsense that I deal with every day. That's not escapism to me. And they try to blend that all in. I don't need to be convinced these people and heroes and everything are just like me. It'd be awful.
Well, there's a big creative problem too, Jim. Like I was watching this, like what is it? I like the Mighty Ducks, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
The movie. I like D2. I like
great.
D3, even though I know they're stupid. I go and I watch the show.
Mhm.
And it's the first movie,
Yeah, I
but
know.
longer.
Very much longer. It's true. That's the great review for it because I tried to watch it as well. And yeah, it was just like, well, I don't need this.
The star
again.
player from the other team comes over and joins him. She gets hurt before the championship game, and the one kid's mom is too involved, and Emilio Estevez is suckered into being their coach, even though he doesn't
Yeah,
want to do
He
it.
doesn't want to do it.
The fat
Yeah.
kid is the goalie, and the captain of the team's best friend is a smart mouth. It's like
Yeah.
it's like the exact same characters.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, Gordon Bombay had a type that he liked for each position, so he goes.
I like it when he proposed the Bombay loafer
Yeah.
for kids that want to be coaches.
Yes.
have good
At least
ideas
this
like that
new
anymore.
goalie, hopefully, he has a better future for him.
Instead of being a
That
straight
last
up
one.
crackhead.
Yeah, really had a
Yeah.
problem.
He's a play or something, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually making a rebound, which is good.
Yeah,
Though
he
I
is.
knew there was trouble right away when the kid was supposed to be from Philadelphia. You realize there's trouble there. I'm from Philadelphia, so I know.
So what's the better movie with that fat kid in it? Is it the Mighty Ducks or is it the Fat Camp movie with Ben Stiller?
No, it's Mighty Ducks. Yeah,
Man, I like the Fat
Definitely
Camp
Mighty
movie, too.
Ducks.
I do like the Ben
Also,
Stiller
I-
heavyweight.
Over-
situation.
so over
Jim-
the top,
Jim,
it's
gotta-
amazing.
Gotta ask you something though.
Yeah.
You're from
I-
Philly. You're wearing a
I
Penn
know.
jersey.
I
I-
hate the Flyers. I
Okay,
can't
good.
stand
Thank you.
Yeah, there. I knew what you were going to ask. And going in high school, I mean, our town is huge hockey, and I just got the Flyers shoved down my throat. I had enough of the Broad Street bullies, and that was the time of Lemieux and Yager. So I'd rather have skilled hockey than just bullies.
Yeah.
I'm not much of a hockey guy, but if I have a team, it's Toronto, just because I think the jerseys are dope and I like Ty Dome.
Hey, I like
Dude,
the jerseys are dope. They just haven't won anything since 1967.
Yeah.
Well,
Since it
Ty
was more
Dome
than
probably won the
16.
record for most penalty minutes because he fucked so many people up. That's what I like.
No, actually, I think that was Marty McSorley.
Yeah. Tiger
That guy
Williams
was
had a lot as
dirty.
well.
Oh yes.
How the hell did we get on hockey? Oh,
I
because
don't
we
know.
were talking about the
I was-
Mighty
must have
Ducks.
been
I'm
right.
about to say you got on the meat was talking about coffee and y'all talking about hockey.
You were interrupting. A
You
pretty
just
productive
interrupted
moment
a
of
whole
the show.
30 minutes worth of hockey, man.
Interjected with hockey.
Yeah.
Some
Like
coffee.
everyone
It's
doesn't know
winter
that
time.
Sully does
Oh,
it for the
Sully's
best
going
cup
tonight?
of coffee off on Thinking
I'm talking
Critical.
about coffee for 1 second and this man
I had to
knows
cut you
it's
off.
going
You were
crazy.
going to go on a rant. I could see it.
No, I wasn't.
Kenneth Dowling. Kenneth says this whole panel are John Wick shills.
Man, John Wick is
They
amazing.
both
That
need to
first
shill for
movie,
something. John
Any
Wick's
man who
not the
avenged
worst
their
thing in the
dog.
world.
they killed his puppy, man. That look cute
Yeah,
little
any
puppy.
man who avenges their dog.
That was
But
a
the
cute
show,
puppy.
the movies are getting progressively worse. Like the villain in
getting
the
worse.
second movie, like the deaf
Yeah.
mute, like 80-pound Ruby Rose was pretty laughable. The
Just
plot for the third movie was even in that world was unbelievable. We'll
Thanks.
see what happens with the fourth.
man.
movie.
That third one though, that intro, I
got
looked at
Donnie
my
Yen.
wife. I looked at my wife during the intro. I said, "Man, I'm sorry, but this is like too violent." Like, I was like,
Can't
really
handle it?
like, I
This
almost,
is my. Did you say my low T is acting up?
you know how you had that you had that one person that say, "I need to get off this roller coaster because I'm scared." I was getting there at that
Yeah.
point. It was really violent. Like I've seen a lot of violent, gory movies, but that intro was too violent for me, man.
Fatal J's nuts were about to drop. He couldn't handle it.
Too violent, man.
Gal
Pussy.
Lyle says, with the Grubers, the middle finger from She-Hulk, do you think anyone is going to buy their merch now? And they chase their audience way that doesn't exist. I mean, people are going to buy Iron Man merch because it's a good logo. People are always going to buy Captain America and Spider-Man stuff. Do I think they're going to go out of their way to buy a She-Hulk shirt? No.
No.
Miss Marvel?
Hey.
No.
I gotta say, what Wes, I gotta disagree with you on that.
Do
Not that they will buy the She-Hulk stuff, but that they will always buy a Captain America shirt. That they will always buy. We've only had this is a very small window in the entire duration of these characters' existence where they've actually been able to reliably sell merch. There's no guarantee that this lasts more than the movies falling out of favor with the movie going audience.
Well, we'll see what happens. But I don't think She-Hulk is going to do anything to the merch right now. How's that?
Oh no, She-Hulk would never sell merch one way or the other. My point is the rest of them being reliable long term, like perpetual sales. I think that you're making assumptions there.
Are you saying I'm an ass? And you're an option? Is that what you're saying?
Sound like
Okay. My goodness. Happy Steve says, these corporations doing stunts are soulless cash grabs saying, do you like us now? They mean none of it and just a way to get extra money from fools. Yes,
Exactly. That's what they do to the posters when they go to China.
And they show their true colors. Ends up being about the money. It's like they do so many weird things. Like during Pride Month, everyone has to do something different and unique to support Pride. It's like, let's make our rainbow colored candy white. Like, this seems strange. Show solidarity. Make dumbasses out of themselves left and right. But...
Anti-marketing. That's what. Yeah, that's a great term for it, man. Let's do the opposite. Let's generate interest through anti-marketing and outrage. Sure, it blew up in everyone's faces, huh?
Yeah, it's all. What's up, Doc?
I think we're back to the you know what? Never mind. That statement will get you demonetized. I can't.
All right, let's move on. Cal Lyle says, and they emotionally blackmail people. If you don't buy this product, you're racist. And they've succeeded in apathy with Star Wars, which is dead.
Yeah, in a way. When it comes
Wasn't
to that kind
your
of
like your tagline there, Fatal J? You don't like my channel, you're racist?
No, sir. I've never said that.
That wasn't you.
Do it.
I have never said that ever.
Hey, actually, I do have one question for everyone that's on the whole marketing thing. We're in an era right now where the only thing that can actually sell is either the carved out remains of existing IP wearing, being worn as a skin suit, or nostalgia bait. What do you think there's a chance that all these companies whose job it was to create new, create a perpetual cycle of new IP, even for a short period of time, if they bought all these old brands because they actually did sell, in order to kill them so that they don't have the competition in the marketplace anymore?
I don't think Disney wanted to spend like $4.8 billion for a dead Star Wars franchise. That's investment.
I understand.
Nickelodeon spent a lot of money on TMNT. I don't think they want to kill the popularity.
I think maybe he means more of the directors and writers that are hired.
The creative types. If they kill it, then the competition for their shitty ideas that they can't get made right now goes away.
Like Rian Johnson.
Yes.
Knives Out is doing fine on Netflix, supposedly. That's what they tell me.
But it had to go to Netflix. It couldn't get a wide distribution. It couldn't get anybody to actually pick it up for film theater release, which would have made it a shit ton more money.
I can save Marvel and DC in 2 words. Are you ready?
That's 3 words, man.
All right, Joe Biden.
You ready, Doc?
Sure.
Jim Shooter.
Yes. Okay.
Shooter's old.
wicked old.
It don't matter.
He's gonna be like 80 by now.
It don't matter. The only time Marvel was on the rise was with that man.
That's not true. Joe Quesada blew him up too.
He tore him down.
No,
he blew him up and then they fell down at the end.
Yeah.
So he don't count.
Joe brought them back. Jim obviously built them up. Bob Harris kept it going for a while and then shot it in the face. Then a bunch of
all right, we don't have time for the history lesson, Doc.
Jim Shooter, that's all I'm saying.
Shooter's too old.
Jim Shooter, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Jim Shooter's too old. He's like 80. Let the man stay in retirement. Unless he wants to come back and do a story or two, but I don't think that he will be able to do that, especially with today's creators. He'd probably lose his mind. Kenneth Dallin says, one of the guys on the stream got tired of the hero fights and wanted me to wait. I don't mind. I just didn't like the way he said it, and I told him that. I don't tolerate disrespect. I never intend to disrupt the channel. You never disrupt the channel. We're all here to have fun.
Kenneth being Kenneth. Stop it, Kenneth.
Yes.
Thank you, Kenneth.
You shouldn't tolerate disrespect.
Exactly.
Fatal J puts disrespect in my name. I cracked out on him. I put the whip. Probably
you don't want these 20-inch pythons, brother.
But no, you never interrupted the channel, man. We're always here to have fun. I like the hero fights. Everyone enjoys it. Have a little fun talking about how John Wick would murder everybody, including Batman.
Oh, Now that's not true. You see, you pushing it when you say stuff like that, man.
Where is Batman vulnerable?
In the wallet.
His face.
The face.
Where does John Wick shoot people?
Right to the face.
In the face. How would he not kill him?
Now you know Batman got some kind of technology.
He's not
where
the
a bullet
Flash.
wouldn't
He
hit his
can't avoid
face.
bullets.
Plus, Batman won't kill him. John Wick will
Everybody
straight up
knows.
murder him.
Everybody knows Batman has some type of technology that will stop a bullet from going through his face, and you know this.
His mouth is exposed. John Wick would grab him by the arm. He would pull him towards the bullet to get more momentum, and then he'd blow his head off.
Well,
And-
John Wick special.
Batman will stop him before he pull out his gun. There you go.
Batman has been
Bulletproof
punched in the-
mouthpiece.
Batman has been punched in the fucking mouth and like bled
Yeah.
just from being punched in the mouth. He doesn't have like some goddamn Star Trek fucking shields around his face
Exactly.
built into his cowl.
I
He's
respect
really
Batman
good.
and everything that he's accomplished, but let's
If
be
he can get
honest here and be realistic. John Wick would murder his ass.
If he can get punched in the mouth, he can be shot in the mouth.
Now, I don't think John Wick can take Superman or Flash or somebody with superpowers, but a regular mortal like that has an exposed part,
Okay, what about no guns and just straight hand-to-hand combat?
Now
you
you're
would kill him
changing
with
the
the fucking pencil. What are you talking
Yeah, I was about to
It's
say,
been
did you
established.
watch the movie?
You would make
I'm
him
talking,
eat
about,
it.
I'm talking about not even a pencil, just straight.
He'd be like,
fist.
eat this pencil, sucker, and then he would smash his head into it.
He would rip one of Batman's ears off and kill him with that.
That
beat him with
All
It's
right,
not
you
even
might got a
close.
point.
would- He'd get a reservoir dogs with the
makes
ear.
some sense. Cal Lyle says, no more John Wick talk. What?
Man, John Wick is the ultimate man. What are you talking about?
He doesn't like the character for some reason.
We
John Wick's
inspired
gonna
him.
We,
kill
man.
we
Cal.
got other stuff to talk about. We got some nerd stuff we can get to. We've also got Dark Crisis Young Justice ended this week. Felt like the biggest screw you to fans I've ever read, Jim from DZ Comics. I don't know what they were thinking letting Megan Fitzmartin do this one, but I thought it was especially touching when Mr. Mitzelplick, or I guess Mickey Mitzelplick, who represents us,
Junior.
the actual customers of DC Comics, got trapped in his own echo chamber. And ironic that Megan Fitzmartin didn't see her part in all of that.
No. And yeah, if it ended with her being kind of revealed, and it still wouldn't have been good. And I was afraid what she was trying to do is play this game, and at the end, wanting to be applauded for, shitting on something for that long and then saying, okay, well, this is really me applauding the team itself. But no, it just was a mess. And at the end, it just still ended up feeling like a middle finger to readers. And I don't get it. I don't get why they let this happen.
Did you like the apology tour?
No, that's again, that was the deal of, let's shit on things and then try to back end it of, oh, look, this is what I was doing all along. She messed that up. She didn't get the characters. She didn't get their place in the DCU and doesn't understand that anything you look back on, you can twist and turn to make it look as toxic or non-toxic as you want. But you don't do that to the fans themselves. They you know what I mean? It's not I hate to say it's not their fault, but people who sit there and say, I love Young Justice, that doesn't mean they're awful people. And that's what she almost was saying. And it just ended up being very disappointing, especially as a tie into the big event. It just was bullcrap.
How did it tie into the event?
It didn't really. That's what
There
I'm
was
saying.
one
They just threw
line
it out
that
there.
said,
Yeah.
The
I
cover.
saw what Pariah was doing, and I siphoned his energy off and created this.
And then at one point, you even had him go, I think there's a fight going on at the Hall of Justice. Like, there's nothing in that really tied in. Like, I mean, really, did Worlds Without a Justice League, did they actually really tie in fully either? I know the concept was supposed to, but those were bullcrap anyway.
Okay, let me ask a quick question. This is a dumb question. So get rid of the roast meat, Chad.
John Wick.
panel. No, I don't want to talk about John Wick no more. What is the freaking difference between Teen Titans and Young Justice?
It's just different teams and
Yeah,
different
New
imprints.
like era of young heroes. The
But
generation
also-
after
Young
Dick
Justice
Grayson and-
graduated to be the Teen Titans back in the late '90s. They were an in-between team.
and the Teen Titans kind of became the Titans there for a moment.
Yeah.
They were
Yeah,
another
right.
young kid.
But is Nightwing always the leader of both teams, or he's
No.
not the leader?
No, he's not in the
No.
Young Justice.
Tim Drake Robin
Yeah.
was the leader of
Young Justice.
Justice.
Right.
And also again, what was it? The Teen Titans with John Winnick.
Yeah.
Which is the
He
more
led that
superior
team.
team?
I would say Young Justice because they had Connor Kent.
Yeah.
Teen
yeah.
Titans
okay.
has the greatest run in DC history, possibly with
Oh,
Mark
no.
Wolfman and
I have
George
more fun
Perez.
with the Young Justice team,
Oh, yeah,
though.
yeah.
I really like them.
Perez.
Yeah, because we had a Superboy hanging out with a
That's
Robin.
fuck.
You know, they were all the,
And
you
a
know,
Flash.
Yeah.
fun.
I
And
love
a Wonder
Impulse.
Woman.
Impulse is one of my favorite all-time DC characters.
Oh,
a
yeah,
lot like
Impulse is
me.
dope.
I am Impulse, scatterbrained and warp speed.
Can you imagine Impulse pouring a cup of perfect coffee? Fatal J would just be like, "Whoa!" He'd just be looking at the page. Look at that coffee.
All this coffee talk. I'm about to make something soon.
You should.
Go for it.
Yeah.
One thing, it's a good thing that I don't need to buy this. I have not bought it. I haven't read it. I have no place for it in my collection. And intellectually, as a fan, at this point in comics, I can delete it from the continuity. I can, you know, I don't have to. I feel like Alexander Luthor, like delete him. You know, just this is great.
It was just bad. And
It
the thing
was.
that really goes with it is not just her calling people toxic or that middle finger. It's that it's somebody telling you a story that she didn't get the characters. She didn't. So she's telling you that what sucked, she has no concept of what it's so bad.
Trashing
overall.
Peter David's like seminal
Yeah.
DC Comics run.
And they just re-released a compilation. There's a trade paperback on the shelves this week. I saw it. It was right next to issue 6 of Dark Crisis, Young Justice. There's this brand new reprint of Peter David's run right next to it.
Well,
Ironic.
good. Hopefully, people pick the good book.
Yeah.
I saw plenty of people in the comments saying, "I need to go get the Peter David stuff and see what this team's all about." But the real problem, Jim, is we do have this reboot going on, Dawn of DCU, and there's a big event. There's 3 big events coming up, but we've already seen what this editorial team is going to do or what they're capable of doing in greenlighting and actually putting into print to tie into the event itself. You know, it speaks not only poorly on Megan Fitzmartin, who shouldn't probably be at DC Comics at this point, but it speaks very poorly on Jim Lee for greenlighting. It speaks very poorly on Ben Abernathy, the executive editor at DC Comics, for greenlighting this stuff and allowing it to go out there and not fixing it and doing something that people would actually like that would make the event feel bigger and make Dark Crisis something more important.
Exactly. And it's not. I mean, it ends up where these tie-ins, almost all of them, except maybe, you know, the individual issues in Flash, they were actually pretty good, but there's a shock. I mean, that book is good. It just nothing elevated the event itself. And I don't know how it could have, the event itself is just kind of sitting there. And then these books are doing their kind of thing that doesn't quite tie in, but I don't know. Maybe it was because it wasn't coordinated enough, but I do think, like you're saying, editorial and the higher ups, I think are actually more, you know, to blame for a lot of these things. Then you're getting a writer who obviously doesn't know the characters, doesn't really care for them, wants to make them her own so that she can go forward with that, kind of like a Bendis play almost. But you end up where, I mean, that's what you're going to get. You're not going to end up getting anything better if you go at it like that. And it's everything is. I just hope this new Dawn of DC. I hope that they learn their lessons, but they don't show that they have, and that announcement didn't even show that maybe they have.
Ben Abernathy used to be a good editor too.
Yeah.
I liked everything that he
He's
edited
drinking the Kool-Aid, yeah.
at Wildstorm. Actually, you know what? Now I do have to say there was a problem. He edited and gave that terrible authority human on the inside to the fuck's that clown that was just that's on Black Panther right now.
John Ridley,
yeah. That, and when he let Captain Atom come over and basically destroy the Wildstorm universe in Captain Atom Armageddon. That was fucking terrible too.
Well, we do know the DC Comics editorial staff got like slashed to the bone while they're over at AT&T. They had a lot of cuts and stuff like that, and he's been elevated, presumably because he's the best editor that they have. Perhaps he's just overwhelmed and doesn't have time to look at all of that stuff. But you know, his name is on it. It says he's the editor. It says he's the guy in charge.
Could be that he's just like, you know what, fuck it. This book doesn't matter. I'm not even going to bother wasting my time on it.
It's true.
I mean, it's got Megan Fitzmartin's name on it. It has no actual connection to Dark Crisis. It's there for no other reason than to fill some shelf space. Screw it. If we sell 5,000 copies, it makes money because she gets paid in pocket lint.
So Jim,
inconsistencies. Sorry,
Tebby is saying that this is the worst comic book of the year. Do you agree with him? We still have Child of the Amazons out there. We do have Teen Titans Academy. What If Miles Morales, Marvel Voices Pride, Spider-Punk. There are a lot of really bad comic books out there.
There are. I think that it might be at DC because of what it was supposed to be, because it is a event tie-in. I think it might be. It's in the top 5. It really is. It's just that weird kind of book that gets so much wrong, but could have been so good. I mean, it could have been something really good. People just desperately wanting that Young Justice book. And we had that kind of deal with Bendis, as I said, but you end up where this could have been like that return. This could have had people more excited even going forward. Like, oh my God, I hope that we're going to get more Young Justice. And it turned everybody off, it seemed.
Yeah. I mean, bringing back classic Bart Allen. Like I said, I love Impulse. Give me classic Bart Allen.
They said it earlier in one of the super chats. The idea, go with that world's finest kind of feel. If you would have done that, it would have worked out. I mean, you could have just had this dream world where, there's Young Justice, they're doing their thing, and at the end, instead of it being a toxic memory, they're just in their dream world, and at the end, they have to decide if they're going to grow up and go back and help in the Dark Crisis, or do they want to stay where they were? And obviously, they'll want to grow up, because we all, go... That's all you needed to do. It didn't have to be that toxic.
But that's a statement about the characters themselves and not about Megan Fitzmartin.
Exactly.
And the comic book needed to be about her.
Yeah, we can see right through it. It's a meta commentary.
Yeah, every fan of Young Justice wants those characters to be legit and to be used and to be respected. That's there, and she turned it into being a toxic thing. How is that? How did she do it?
We want Tim Drake to grow into either Red Robin or Batman, and definitely not, Twink Boy. And we want Cassie to eventually be the heir to, if Donna doesn't take over the Wonder Woman role, Cassie.
No. And just remind people that that team is a fun team, that growing up doesn't mean not telling jokes or not being friends. Growing up means a responsibility and being there when you're needed. You could easily do that. It's so easy. It was like, it really was like a softball pitch, and she ruined it.
It should have been reminiscent about your high school friends and that camaraderie, that closeness, and the sense of communication and fondness you have with those 3 or 4 people that hopefully you're still in contact with this very day. You know what I mean? But your high school friends. And this was, that was more, for me, one of the most charming aspects of Bart, Cassie, Connor, and Tim.
Absolutely. We do have some thoughts from the viewers. Thank you so much to everyone for supporting the channel. Really appreciate that one. Lane Kramer says, villain battle, Hyperion versus Black Adam. Who wins? Doc, this is a you question if I've ever heard one.
Hyperion. Hyperion, because he has all the power of Superman, but none of the self-control.
He's not vulnerable to magic?
No, as far as I know, he's never been established as vulnerable to magic, and he has none of the restraint. He just completely let loose and slaughter Black Adam in a half a second. He'd rip him in half. He just grab him and rip him in half. He can move fucking planets.
Fine. There you go. Anybody else have any thoughts on Hyperion versus Black Adam?
I agree with Doc.
We don't need
Black Adam, because I just love Black Adam.
Wrong.
You know,
there
he
you go.
Says his magic word. Thunderbolt's going to go right up his tuchus.
Right in the balls. Hyperion falls over, holding his nuts as they've been fried. That's how I would write it. Speaking of Doc, we've got like the smash button, people. He was a little bit more graphic on it. I think we're at like 125 likes. We've been around 300 viewers pretty much the entire time. the last hour at least. So if you haven't given us a like, definitely do that. Let people know we're having a great conversation, having fun with your weekly geek talk right here. And thank you to Doc for supporting the channel. Common Sense. The Shield Media strikes at Amazon, giving Dark Crisis Young Justice trade 4 stars, a 4-star rating that comic deserves 0.
That checks out.
Megan Vesper, she's doing it.
Sure.
She's
Review
the one
bombing.
her dad couldn't even give her 5 stars. He only gave her 4. That's the review that they got. So yeah, that thing it should come with a warning label like "Do not read." You're gonna hate this. Common Sense says Fitzmartin brags about moving the characters forwards, but she's changing the past. She ignores Arrowette. Arrowette did. She ignores that Arrowette did visit the Titans Tower back in 2005, and edits the Superboy statue, erasing other Titans being there. That was probably the biggest problem, Jim, is the awareness of the characters and their history and what actually happened.
Yeah, it was. She ended up even having them dealing with problems she thought were still problems that were actually resolved already. And like the kiss, that whole deal. She wanted to cause drama in the whole team and whatnot, but instead she just ended up not realizing that things had moved on. Like she was getting onto people, middle finger for not letting, hey, you didn't move on, but she didn't even know that they did. And that's where I thought it was like arguing with somebody about something they have any knowledge about. That's what it felt like the whole time reading it.
That's why the apology tour was so bad, because they were apologizing for stuff that never happened, really.
Yeah, exactly. Or stuff that was already resolved. And that it doesn't make sense. And that's, again, more on editorial in my mind. There has to be somebody there that has to tell her these things. I know that seems like, oh, they shouldn't have to hold her hand, but this passes through a bunch of people. Other people, I don't know what they were thinking. And one person just needs to step in and say, whoa, we need to go back and, look at what happened.
Can you give me a testing 1, 2, because your mic volume is really high and the program needs to adjust you down. I don't want to hear you slurp anymore.
Oh, sorry about that, man. Hold on,
Sounds like your mic's disconnected.
Okay, hold on. Let me do some technical stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Rate X7. DC should combine Young Justice and Teen Titans into one team called Young Titans.
Titan Justice.
The young ones.
That
Teen
starts
Justice?
to sound like Titans Academy.
They do have a Teen Justice series called Multiversity, so if you've read that comic book, it might not be a good idea because Katie Lore is right there.
That's a
All
terrible
right, guys. Do my mic sound better?
Yeah.
Do it sound better?
Yes.
No more of the background noise.
My mic was too high. Sorry about that, guys.
I'd be afraid if you combine these teams, there's not enough room for each of the characters, and then they get real generic with the stories. Yeah, it's not
two Robins, 2 Wonder People, 2 2 Flashes. Yeah.
We've got the same characters.
It was something inside of me where I always couldn't tell the difference between Teen Titans and Young Justice. I always
There's
thought
a lot of people would have that problem.
Yeah, I thought literally it was the same team.
Zach Richmond says Megan Fitzmartin wrote Impulse saying he's sorry for the team treating Wonder Girl like crap. All you have to do is go back and read Jeff Johns' Teen Titans to see that wasn't the case. Well, you can actually just go back to the Peter David stuff that he's actually talking about, and it doesn't happen there either. He's talking about, I didn't want you to show up because you're going to ruin a good thing. She shows up in like the first 3 or 4 issues, and she's there the entire time. She ends up being like the leader of the team.
Yeah, this crap. This crap got me.
They were
saying
a family.
You hold them back.
Look, they keep hiring idiots that don't know anything about the characters except for what they got from not even reading a whole Wikipedia page, like just kind of skimming it, and then
nobody checking it.
They read a Daily Beast article. Like,
they read a Daily Beast article, saw some weird delusional take of somebody else that only skimmed through 3 issues, and decided to paint the entire, until now run with that brush, and then you're left with a bunch of. And the thing is, editorial's too fucking spineless to look at it and go, this is every single thing on every single page here is canonically wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
But they already hired her. They can't fire her before the book comes out.
I have just quick. I have an example where Editorial doesn't know anything either. In the Batgirls book, just this last issue of Batgirls, you end up having it revealed Clue Master is alive. This is supposed to be something that spoiler will get upset about. He has been alive for the last 2 years. It was revealed he never died. And there was a whole thing in Bendis's Young Justice deal about that. And I actually asked the Clunrads, what's going on? Is this some sort of twist? And he said, no, they messed up. They didn't know that he was still alive in the current continuity. So, and I said, well, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to change things? He's like, no, they just told me to go with it and people won't remember that. That was from 2020 that a character was revealed to be alive. Now, all of a sudden, they're going to do it as if he was. It doesn't make, and that's the Editorial. They told him that. And then when he asked, they actually said, and Doc, you said it, they told him to go to Wikipedia entries to figure out stuff on their own. And that's ridiculous. When you get a writer who doesn't know anything about the character, you have to know that and you have to help them. I mean, that's just as it is. If you're,
Wikipedia?
Yeah, like the wiki fandoms they were supposed to go to, but who knows who's writing those? That's what they're using. That's the Editorial that you're getting and stuff like this.
Definitely
that's
shows.
why it's a mess. Yeah.
Common Sense. Did you notice the last issue of Dark Crisis Young Justice gave Cassie heat vision? I am dead serious. It was there. I did not see that. Did you see that, Jim?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's there in the one panel. I think it was just a mistake. When I read it, I looked it up. I thought, okay, maybe this is one of those things because they are going back and forth with their origin and all that stuff. It has been a mess, but that seemed to be something pretty new. But they'll end up making it one of those. An error is now, a feature. They'll say that she got it somehow, or it's a dream world. They'll make up something.
It happens a lot. Common Sense says, I don't want Megan Fitzmartin's privilege in DC editors to ruin Kenny Porter's Superboy series and his reputation. I've been reading his DC mech. He cares about making good characters. Look at his Superman. I didn't read DC mech because it felt like the exact same thing that was happening in Marvel at the time, Jim. Was it good?
Yeah, and no, I didn't like it. I'm sorry, Common Sense, but it's the Elseworld Steel. But for Common Sense, just as a shout out, you end up where we have that Mark Waid tie into Dark Crisis. That's going to reestablish the Infinite Earths. It's going to end up showing you some, and there is a DC mech Earth in that you'll see that. So if you want to have any props to it, he got himself his own Earth from that. And if you like that they also have a Jurassic World deal, the Jurassic League one. A lot of weird choices, but kind of cool. I mean, it is kind of cool. But I didn't.
Jurassic League doesn't need to be in canon. Like they don't need to explain why it's there. That's just a stupid side story.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And again,
why waste the page and ink?
I know. Yeah, why even have to even explain that it's there? I agree.
Could be a prequel to Captain Carrot.
Man, I see people in the chat that are liking the DC mech, and that's great. That's go for it. Then I just didn't really enjoy when you don't like the concept going in. It's tough to kind of be won over anyway. And I had enough of it, like you said, at Marvel with Jim Zub's deal and the other stuff. So.
Jim Zub, I thought it was his Thunderbolts is actually kind of good.
That's actually surprised me as well because I'm not a huge fan of his, but that actually stepped it up a little, and it works. He has that style of writing. I think it works for him.
Happy Steve says, Wes, can you convince me to not be like Doc? # no new comic with so many bad books out there. I'm having a hard time staying motivated. I can save my money. Yes, I can convince you. That's why I do the show every single week. The best of the week. That's why at the end of the stream every week we talk about the stuff that you should go read because I want you to avoid all this crap like Dark Crisis, Young Justice. We do have to acknowledge that it exists, and I do want DC Comics and potentially people that work there to hear this stuff and be like, oh yes, we are making mistakes. These are the places that we're getting this wrong, but there is enough good stuff out there for you to go in there and be able to be satisfied as a customer. At DC, you can read Flash, you can read Batman, Superman, World's Finest, you can read Batman. Detective Comics is perfectly fine. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. We just had the World Saga on Action Comics. That's pretty good. Over at Marvel, you can go and read Moon Knight and a few other titles there. And there's certainly a lot of great stuff on the indie scene with Do a Powerbomb. And we did have King of Spies this year, and that was amazing. So you just have to be selective. You have to go in having some information about what's good and what to avoid, so you don't end up reading the crap, that's going to make you want to not buy comic books like Doc. I destroyed comic books for Doc, and I feel bad, but I don't.
You gotta dig the crates, man. It's still good comics there. You just gotta look for them.
Mm-hmm. I like that DC is actually critical. Yeah. DC appears to have a leg over Marvel right now.
Their upper stuff is way better than Marvel's upper crust stuff right now, but their bottom feeder stuff is so much worse. It's not even funny.
I agree.
It's a conundrum.
Yeah.
I mean,
the middle section Marvel they have that mid deal, but yeah.
Also, reading Weird Science DC. These guys review like all the DC and Marvel books, and they are the most reliable, most honest reviewers out there. That's why I like to have Jim and Gabe here on the channel. If you're a Batman fan, if you go to Batman News, those guys are also very honest brokers when it comes to the reviews themselves. So there is enough information out there for you to keep reading new comic books and be happy and be able to avoid all the crap. Just laugh at the bad stuff. Don't try and invest in it because you're just going to be unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah, and even going back to before, the idea of this idea being overly negative and things, oh man, why didn't it's a crapshoot. You don't know what's coming out. You just deal with what comes out each week, and there are ebbs and flows to it. There's times where it seems like you're so negative, and then there's times, like you said, when you like something like A World's Finest, you push it and start, telling people to read it, Flash, all that sort of thing. But it is kind of based on what's coming out. You can't make up the idea that you love something that you don't or hate. So it's just how it is. Just go with it.
Caleb says, did a DC comic bad touch Meg in the past? I have no idea. I think they just hired her because she worked on Warner Brothers animation. Probably has a cheap page rate.
And she probably doesn't cause problems.
Likely gets the script out on time. Yeah. Keda says, I'm taking Hyperion over Black Adam. Hyperion is Marvel's Superman, and Soups could take Black Adam. That's why Kenneth's the best. He always thinks these things out. He's always got a reason for it. You know what I mean? Travel logs. Editorial doesn't even want to read that crap. No,
I don't.
You imagine if your job was to read all the crap that Megan Fitzmartin's writing? You'd be in therapy. Like, cool. Man. What am I doing here? What does my life become?
You would absolutely hate comic books.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You would despise them.
Goblin Sense says, remember what I said? What if I was Peter David, I would tell Megan Fitzmartin, you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards because you care about your own privileges more than making good stories. Yeah, because Dark Crisis Young Justice is about Megan Fitzmartin and her feelings about the fans. It's not really about Young Justice. That's why the characters don't work. That's why the story doesn't work. That's why she didn't even care enough to tie it into the actual event. That's on the beginning of the title.
Yeah. And
continuity.
Yeah, continuity. All that. It's actually. I was just thinking. It feels like that person where you're working at a job and a new guy comes in, and in the second day they're bitching and moaning at you about a job that you have done for 5 years, and you're like, "Who the hell are you?" Like saying this. She just shows up and just starts, throwing shade at everybody, and she doesn't have the cred to do that. It just feels.
Well, she thinks she's special because she's a Hollywood person.
Exactly.
What's up, Skip?
She actually almost feels like she is just talking down because she is something bigger. Like Doc just said, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
But she was like the executive assistant to the guy that was producing fucking like Supernatural.
Yeah. Well, she was in the writer's room on the bad part. Like the bad last few seasons.
Yeah,
she was
that's the worst part. It's the worst seasons.
Yeah, well, but that's who they get. You think they're going to get anybody from the good seasons? They don't pay enough.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Good shows. That's why they're the bad seasons.
They need to just get comic book writers. That might help.
Oh, God
forbid. Speaking of comic books, speaking of comic book writers that they don't have, Grateful Dog does mention Joe Corallo's new comic Dahlia in the Dark comes out in December. He's got some great plans for Wonder Woman. He's got the Great City of Bruce story that's still unmade from DC Comics. There are places that they could go. There are still comic book writers out there, but they refuse to hire them right now.
Yeah.
Kenneth Dowling, Teen Titans versus Gen X, Doc.
Teen Titans.
I'm gonna have to go with Teen Titans on this. Generation X was not a very strong team.
I agree.
As long as you have a Flash with you, he can basically kill everybody and they would never know about it.
Now they do have Chamber, who is obscenely powerful. I mean, to the point where the first time he went to use his powers, he blew up the bottom of his own face.
I'm about to say that's the dude with the scarf on his face, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because he doesn't have like a lower face, and he literally can't speak. He talks to you telepathically. But
if you have Wally West, just with his body mass and the velocity that he has, he only needs to run within a few feet of you for you to disintegrate into atoms.
Yeah, he can. That's why I say no. Titans take it easy.
Yeah, if there was really a Flash on this world, people would just be dying without knowing it left and right. You wouldn't be able to stop it.
Be like A-Train in that. In the boys,
exactly.
that first season, you know, that was a wonderful example of that, of superpowers in real life. I got to hand it to the boys season 1. That was like very Snyder-esque, showing this complete collateral damage that
they would be standing there, and then there would be a puff of red.
Yeah, just red.
Like, where'd Fred go?
You're holding your girlfriend's hands, literally.
John Wick would still kill him.
They got Jubilee
Shoot him in the mouth.
Jubilee is in Generation S too, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She throws fireworks. Okay, don't even go there. I don't want to hear about it, Fatal J.
I was waiting. I need to see
that was just my question. Jubilee, her powers was always fireworks, right?
Fireworks. Dylan Lindsay says,
celebration.
Didn't Hyperion lose to Hulk? I don't see Superman losing that fight, so wouldn't that make Superman stronger than Hyperion? Black Adam is only a little weaker than Superman, so wouldn't the fight be closer than that, Doc? Oh,
I would say that was that during the Jason Aaron run that he lost to Superman, or that he lost to Hulk? In which case, I say it doesn't fucking count, because Jason
Superman
Aaron just
kick
breaks
Hulk
things.
in the balls, and he would be in the sun.
Yes,
and he would no longer exist.
Yeah, the anything written by Jason Aaron does not count.
He can't be a part of continuity for
no, because his entire job is because his job is to break continuity and break characters.
Good at it too.
Yes, he's good at it, but his job is to break characters. So no, I don't consider anything that Jason Aaron ever writes to be canon, and it should just be forgotten to the dustbin of history.
Maybe it's an Obi-Wan Kenobi situation where it happened from a certain point of view. Huh? No? All right. Common Sense says Cassie was already leader of Young Justice after the Tower of Babel, and she was leader of Teen Titans after Connor Kent dies. Megan insults Cassie's growth as a character. I say Vita wrote Cassie with respect. I'm assuming that's in the Trial of the Amazon story. Was she wasn't in Nubia, right?
No, she was like, she kind of jumped back and forth. I mean, she was Detective Cassie going on in that Trial of the Amazons. Was kind of
wasn't a very good detective, though.
No, but yeah, she really wasn't. But the character wasn't ruined. I mean, it was okay. But yeah, this whole deal of her saying, Megan Fitzmartin saying that she is elevating and letting these characters grow. She just
like a Tom King elevates Batman or
what they all do is they knock them down to elevate them at the end to get them to the same level to be applauded. That's what happens all the time at DC now with these writers.
They're just a deconstruction publisher right now.
Exactly. It does get frustrating.
DC
and then
deconstructing characters.
Exactly. There you go. And then when you end up seeing something like a World's Finest or a Flash or, even Nightwing, kind of the idea of, oh my God, you know what? These characters are pretty cool and I can like them along with the writer as they're writing them. Sometimes they might get a little carried away with it. That's what I think is happening with Nightwing, but it's still better than a lot of this other nonsense.
Atomic Hound says, for recommendations, do not walk, but run to your platform of choice and watch Battle of the Super Sons. 5 stars.
I still haven't seen that, and I was anticipating that. I need to see it. I
haven't seen it either.
I'm
assuming it's on HBO Max?
Because that's one of my favorite runs. I don't think it's on HBO Max. I haven't seen it. I live on HBO Max.
I think you got to buy it.
Oh.
I think it's one of those like
we don't do VOD here in the Philippines.
Yeah.
I guess we have to wait. I think they do the animations. You have to wait like a month.
It's on Blu-ray.
Oh, we don't.
You have to wait.
Blu-rays here.
You have to wait.
We don't
a
even
while.
have a red box. Can you believe that, Fatal J? Do you like red box? You seem like a red box
don't
guy.
exist anymore. Streaming killed that.
Red box doesn't exist anymore.
Not where I live. They gone. The
I was about to say, I
machines are
still
gone.
see them.
I still
Sometimes.
see them.
They're like in
You're
supermarkets.
at your McDonald's and your convenience stores.
Not
Yeah,
I
not
love
there.
Red Fox.
We only see him in the Giant Eagles anymore.
I've only been gone away from the U.S. for 5 years.
They're
We
getting
lost Red
rare,
Fox?
man. They're getting rare. Yeah, streaming killed it.
My
It's over.
goodness. That's depressing. Common sense. Doc is right about not fully reading the wiki. Megan Fitzmartin didn't know it was Jericho that possesses Deathstroke to shoot Bart Allen in the kneecap.
Yeah.
She didn't read the full story wiki, Doc.
No,
have
they
to.
literally just skim a wiki. It's like skimming a fucking Cliff's Notes.
Got to get the important bits.
Yeah, except for they miss it. Like the Cliff's Notes, at least that is the important bits. The important bits of the important bits aren't a story anymore. They're just things
The
that
essence of
might
the
have
story,
happened.
Doc.
And those are good stories too. I mean, remember those Michael Turner covers? That was beautiful art.
I love Michael Turner.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Bart coming into his own as Kid Flash. I loved that. That was a nice step up.
You know what I love? You know what I love? Tiara Starbrighter bringing it home on Doc and pounding his ass. You were wrong, Doc. Gladiator broke Hyperion's back and Mark Grunwald's Quasar number 54. Per the Marvel Handbook, Hyperion maxes out at 70 tons. Black Adam FTW.
Okay,
Hyperion
first
is
of all,
not that good
Shazam!
anyway.
First of all, the Marvel Handbook was written like 30, 40 years ago at this point. And
It's still the
secondly,
Marvel Handbook. That's the Bible.
it's changed so much since then. There's so many other heroes that Hulk used to only max out at like 25 ton. Now he can lift a goddamn mountain. No, and secondly, Gladiator, his strength is infinite depending on how confident he is.
Yeah,
he
that
is
is the dude with the mohawk.
Be like, your weenie
Yes.
is this big, dude. Next thing you know, he can't pick up a spoon.
Yes,
Like,
if he
"Oh,
actually
I'm so
believes you,
unconfident, my
if he-
dog.
if you that's Gladiator's big weakness is his confidence. But the more
Man.
confident he gets, he's like Alien Hulk, but for confidence instead of anger.
I would
Gladiator
destroy
was supposed to be-
Gladiator,
more
man. I'm a
powerful.
middle child. I would destroy him.
I
I'm
thought,
confident.
I thought Gladiator was supposed to be the Superman of Marvel. I thought that was the Superman.
But again, his power, like his strength and his abilities, depend exclusively on how confident he is.
Hyperion
in
is a
himself
straight
at
up
that time.
ripoff of Superman.
Yeah, Hyperion is just literally they have the exact same origin story. He crashed to Earth in Kansas, except for the differences. He wasn't raised by like the farming parents. He actually got taken by the government. Like they found him, like the farmers found them,
You got it.
and then the government raids them because they are able to figure out where a fucking spaceship lands in America.
I'm just saying that I am on Team Starbrighter on this one. I think she's right, and you're wrong, Doc. That's my opinion. Justin Adams says, haven't heard Nightwing brought up. I've hopped on the last few issues. I've enjoyed it, especially the last issue. Dick and Barbara's little romance is nice. Heartless seems cool. Thoughts on Nightwing. So these are my thoughts on Nightwing. It's not a bad series. The art on it by Bruno Redondo is absolutely fantastic. The problem is it took him like 17 issues to tell one story. It's way too decompressed. And basically the only thing that he's reinforcing throughout the series, what it's really about, is that Dick Grayson is a really good guy and people respect him. But I kind of already knew that. So there are a lot of moments that I like within the story, but there's not a big story going on. And Heartless has been murdering people for like a year and a half now, and he never really stops it. So yeah, like he debuts, I think, in issue number 2 of the run. So while it's good, Jim, and I don't think it's bad by any means,
No.
it gets boring and tedious because he's never moving forward.
Yeah, if you're going into it for a story and you're going beyond the idea, as you said, I love Dick Grayson. He's my favorite character in any iteration because he's a good guy. That's his superpower in my mind. The idea that you have to keep reminding people, it just gets old, and you want a story. And in a story, you have to have, the things where the hero might do something slightly wrong, but that never happens. And also he has every other hero at his beck and call, not beck and call, but they come in. There's no real
Fawning
stakes to
over
it.
it.
You're just waiting to get something there, and it just keeps going. It meanders. And you said the whole deal, and I was saying it on our podcast from issue 3, going forward. Okay, I get it. I love Dick Grayson, but let's go. Let's do something. But it's an easy book to like. I mean, if you just jump into it like Justin did, it has that deal of, yeah, this is really nice. It's positive. It's all that, but it tends to get a little wearisome after a while. It starts to really wear on you.
Hey, I just got one beef with Nightwing, and I know the chat is gonna hate my guts for saying this.
I already hate your guts, and I haven't heard you say it.
Yeah, I even see Wow 3620 said new reader loves Nightwing. I think it's a great new reader book.
Absolutely.
This is my only beef I ever had with Nightwing. Can they give him a cape?
No.
He doesn't need a cape. He's an acrobat.
Yes,
That would get in his way. He would die because his cape would get caught on a corner and he would fall to his death.
He had a cape when he was Robin.
Earth 2 Robin, man. Earth 2 Robin.
Just give him a shorter cape then. It don't have to be long like Batman's.
That's a Dickie, man. You want a fucking Dickie on Nightwing?
Hey, Dickie,
Get out of here with that. You want some reverse Dickie on Nightwing?
Oh no!
Oh
no.
my goodness!
Dickie gets a Dickie.
Oh my gosh! What is wrong with Fatal J? I do want to say this to Justin. On Thanksgiving Day, I've already recorded it because I'm gonna be out of town. I'm gonna be on vacation. I am gonna review my favorite issue of Nightwing that's been produced in the last 5 years. I absolutely love it. I hope you check that one out. And I'm going to talk about one of my favorite characters and why I love that comic book so much. And I hope that you get to check that one out. And if you like Nightwing, I think you're going to like that video. It looks like Jim left us. My goodness. But thank you so much for supporting the channel, Justin.
Doc, you said give him a cloak? A cloak?
Yeah, give him a cloak. There you go.
Why the freak a cloak, though?
It's a cape.
Why not?
By another name.
Just give him a shorter cape.
A poncho, like Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
No. No.
If I was right,
but he can shed a cloak. The
You know
cape
how Shazam
connected to him.
Shazam has the little cape. It's the little small cape.
Right.
Give him a look. It will emphasize on the core factor.
You know that the biggest selling point to the female audience for Nightwing is his ass, right? Is that why you want the short cape?
Maybe.
He would get in the way. You wouldn't see his back, man. That dude does pull-ups, man. He wants to show his lats.
Give him a cape with an ass cut out.
No.
I have seen acrobats at the circuses with capes on. Not long.
But they take it off before they.
My goodness. Should we do one last thing, or should we wrap this thing up? We're almost at 2:50 or 1:15 a.m. here.
I got a dip soon.
All right, well, let's start wrapping it up. We'll start doing our comic book recommendations for the week. I wish we had gotten to X-Men Captain Marvel crossover, but I already did a full video on that one, so definitely check that one out. As far as the comic book recommendations, are you going to be recommending comic books or manga this week, Carrie?
Both.
Hit it.
All right. Up first, manga. Go Loser Ranger. If you like Power Rangers or anything Super Sentai, it is a twist on the tale because the Power Rangers in this are the bad guys. And the monsters are the good guys who are being held captive and forced to act out different battles as if they are actually invading the world. And one of them finally has it and decides to infiltrate the Rangers. So I recommend that one. Next up, if you like sports, soccer, I recommend Blue Lock. It is kind of like soccer meets Squid Games. It's about a group of kids who want to make it to the national team, but they have to go through this training that kind of breaks them down psychologically, and it's just like something else. I do like it. Comics. I know a lot of people recommended these already, but Spider-Man, The Lost Hunt. I'm loving that one. And I have to say, Ghost Rider number 8. It's probably getting back on track since they got rid of that stupid Hellway race.
Very nice. Definitely be reading Ghost Rider. That's a really good run. And thank you very much for joining us, Carrie.
No problem.
We definitely won't be waiting that long in between appearances. I don't know what happened there. I forgot to invite you a couple times. I feel terrible about that one, but
That's
it was
okay.
great having you on the channel. This was a really fun show, by the way. I hope everyone had a good time because we were busting nuggets and Fatal J was making a dumbass out of himself left and right.
I do that all the
It's
time.
pronounced
sir. Thank you so
Dumas,
much.
please.
Dumas.
Kenneth Dowling says to Dylan Lindsay regarding the superhero fight, Superman survived an explosion of 2 planets colliding. Hyperion stopped 2 universes from colliding. Hyperion wins.
Yes.
Boom. Kenneth Dowling for the win. I guess he pulled that one out.
He'll win that round.
Fatal J, what are you recommending this week? You got any comic books that you think people should read?
I want to give a special shout out to Yule. Yule hit me up with the Mandalorian #1. It sucked. Art wise, it sucked.
Roddy Barnes.
Sorry. I mean, if I'm offending somebody, I'm sorry. But I did read Star Wars Vision #1, the same guy who created Afro Samurai, drawn Afro Samurai.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably the best comic of the year in my eyes, art-wise, story-wise, because it was a big plot at the end, twist plot, whatever they call it, turn plot, whatever. It was absolutely dope. I can't wait for issue 2. If there is an issue 2, please pick up Star Wars Vision. You're going to love it, especially if you're a manga fan as well, because it has that manga style to it. But I'm telling you, high action, Jedi fighting. You have a freaking Jedi samurai in this, man.
Is he Asian?
Dope. I don't know. I mean, you got Asian.
That'll be stereotypical, you know?
The stormtroopers are even samurai-ish looking. So please pick that up. Do it now.
Nice.
Buy it now.
We've also got Common Sense says buy Teflon Funk manga out in local comic stores, but other places release like the Black and White on December number 20. And buy Peter David's Young Justice Book 4. Not just good writing, not just for the good writing, but also despite Megan Fitzmartin. How's Teflon Funk, Carrie?
I have not read this one. I have to look it up. No.
You're the manga expert.
I have like a whole stack. Okay.
Definitely go out there and get Teflon Funk. And we've got Yule Carter in the comments. He says, "Happy Thanksgiving, everybody."
Hey,
definitely happy Thanksgiving because I will not.
Yule, did you like Ninja Blast? Let the world know now.
So definitely go and support Peter David's Young Justice Book 4 if you want a good version of those characters, because Megan Fitzmartin does not deliver that. Kenneth Dowling says, "You guys may think I'm crazy, but Dan Slott's new Spider-Man was fun. It feels like it's better than Wells' run. Fatal J, bad take on Nightwing. He's not a cape guy. That's Wes's boy. You know that. Peace, guys. He's not a cape guy.
Because Wes told me he liked Nightwing better than Batman. Is that correct?
That's true. Absolutely.
Okay.
Not that he's a more powerful hero or anything, but he's my personal preference.
Everybody got their preference. Everybody don't like the big two, Batman and Superman. There's just other favorites. I understand. No problem.
You want him to wear a dickie.
I also don't want Superman not to wear tights and drawers. I don't
leave
want
the drawers out of this.
Yeah, just keep it.
It's the
Jim, did you
changes.
read the Dan Slott Spider-Man #1? It's just a continuation of this Edge of Spider-Verse thing, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be the end of the Spider-Verse, but then kind of rolled my eyes at that. But I like
better
it.
than Zeb Wells Spider-Man, because I'm
Yeah.
not liking Zeb Wells.
No, I actually really do like it. I recommend it if you have been following the Spider-Verse stuff. If you haven't, you might be a bit confused, and there's been a bunch of things, but I actually think it's a lot of fun. I actually really liked the second issue that came out recently. I thought it was really, really good.
There you go. Brad Frederick says, Paul Levitz and Alan Davis on an Avengers mini. What does the panel think? I think it looks really good. It looks really old school. It looks like everything I like about the Avengers, which we haven't gotten for 3 years at least, probably more than that.
I agree. And this back to old school stuff is working out for me at Marvel. I like most of it. It really is. And that's when you have the Peter David stuff over at Marvel, that's really, really good. Kind of makes you wish that maybe DC could have grabbed him for this Dark Crisis tie-in and have that kind of call back to the Young Justice stuff. And that would have been pretty darn cool. But, who knows with contracts and stuff.
Kenneth Dowling also asked, Thinking Critical, you're not on next weekend. We're not on next Saturday. If you come here Saturday, there will not be a show because I'm still going to be on vacation, but I'm getting back early Sunday morning, and the show happens to come on Sunday evening here, obviously the show comes on the evening time, so we're going to do it on Sunday next weekend. We're going to have Aaron Sparrow. We're going to have Eric Breed. We're going to have Sully. We'll have Doc and one other special guest. So If you're looking for the aficionados next weekend, it will be on Sunday. I will get something out in the community post. I'll get something out there on Twitter and stuff like that. But just word to the wise, if you don't want to miss the show, you'll need to be here on Sunday, Saturday, not Saturday next weekend, despite Fatal J, I guess, volunteering to take over the channel, but I'm not going to let him do that. That seemed like a bad
Generous
idea.
offer.
Yes, it was very generous, but I decided to not take him up on that one. Jim,
Yeah.
what comic books are you recommending this week?
I would recommend the Stargirl Lost Children #1, Flash, and World's Finest. I'll just stick with DC since we're talking a lot about that today. So those are the three that I would fully recommend. And Nightwing, even on the side there, if you want to get into
It's
that.
a little side piece.
Yeah, a little side piece. You know, you have some weird things going on in that are kind of funny. But yeah, those three and then Nightwing, and so 4. So that's good.
So we've got Eric O'Sullivan. I've turned you back onto DC Comics. We found the right DC comic books for you. And DC happened to have a very, very good new comic book week. What are you recommending?
Here's my brown paper bag from the local comic book shop. Yes. All right, what's in it? We have got Flash 788. I'm with Jim on this one. This is great because I was, like I said earlier, about the Messner Loeb Flash being melodramatic. He also used the rogues pretty well, and so did Mark Waid. This brings back the rogues in a big fashion. I love the last page with the reveal of an old friend coming back. This is fun. This is a Wally West book. Loving it. Also,
What issue is that?
This is 788. This just came out this week.
Okay, I was thinking that was that new Flash that came out there, #1. You know what I'm talking about? The one
He's
Yeah,
talking
that
about the
one's-
Flash, fastest man in the world, but
Yeah.
that's the one that ties into the movie.
It's a movie time.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
And I picked up
Boom.
Stargirl, the Lost Children.
I read that.
Todd
That art
Knox
is
art.
dope.
You can't go wrong.
I love Todd Knox art in this. This is so
Yes, his
like
art is dope. I read that.
90s. He's so suited for drawing young heroes. It's really fun. And this is my secret hope that they can dovetail Roy Harper into this, because Roy Harper was the second overall young kid sidekick ever in DC Comics after Robin. And he was part of this generation. So maybe they can bring, Speedy, like our old Speedy, back. That would be cool. There's a Speedy in here, but
I like
it's
Speedy, though. I like
yeah,
new
I
Speedy.
love Roy.
The one with the cap, the fisherman cap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I like that Speedy better. He's gangster.
But this is fun, and I'm looking forward to more Jeff Johns funny books. This is great, and also thank you guys very much for having me on. It's a great way to start off my birthday. I'm turning 50 today. It's a milestone birthday for me.
That's a big one.
This is
I
a big
thought you
birthday
was
for me.
30.
I am in heart.
I'm like that
In
movie.
wallet.
I have what he's eating. I have what he's
Thanks,
eating.
man. Healthy lifestyle, man. Smoking pot, drinking beer, eating sandwiches. You're halfway there.
Yes, sir.
We do get a shout out from Jerome, also known as Doom Mega, contributor to the channel, friend of the channel. Glad to see that you're here, brother. Hope you had a good time. Hopefully we were able to entertain you with some of our nerd discussions, which were very fun this week. Justin Adams, thank you so much for supporting the channel. Does this channel ever do reading orders just for new readers and such? I really love the channel. We don't really do reading orders so much. We certainly do the comic book retrospectives. We've got over 70 of them in the can, going back and talking about old runs, in some cases, old issues here and there that we think were like hidden gems that people will really love. But we did do 2 videos, basically going back to the history of DC and Marvel Comics, talking about the different eras and why you would want to jump in there. So if you're a DC fan, we will talk about like the Golden Age, Silver Age, what happens at post-Dark Crisis, the different events and what they lead into, because DC is kind of separated by crisis events. We also do the same thing for Marvel, but it's more about the EICs there. That kind of defines their eras within Marvel Comics. So if you're a newer reader and you're looking for some older history or maybe places to start for Marvel and DC, those 2 videos, where to begin, like at Marvel and DC, are the ones that I think you will probably like. But we don't do the reading orders so much because this is not something we've done on the channel, but we do the retrospectives. I hope you enjoy that. I hope it helps you out, and I do appreciate you supporting the channel. Glad you are having a good time. We've got Mega Jerome. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, brother. If you have a question, definitely know. He's been slacking on his books. My goodness, disappointing everybody. Who else? Eric, you recommended. We've got Doc. Are you recommending any comic books this week?
Nothing new, but for good reason, because I don't buy new things. So what I am recommending though is 2 One is a miniseries from a good number of years ago, because I know we've talked a decent bit about Peter David today, and it kind of got me thinking. The Madrox miniseries that he did that led into his second volume of X Factor. It was, I think, 5 or 6 issues. It was just Jamie Madrox as a private investigator that leads to the start of the X Factor investigations story. I definitely recommend that. It was a fun, kind of murder mystery story with Jamie running around as a detective. So pick that up. You can probably find it cheap. Second is I am going with a certain section of Uncanny X-Men, 312 through 337. If you really like it, you can kind of go all the way up to 350, but it's the whole build starting at 312. You start building towards, 322, start building towards Onslaught. So they built for 18 months until they got to the Onslaught story. And a lot of it it's Scott Lobdell writing, which is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people. I really enjoy him. I thought he was a honorable, if not great, successor to Claremont on the book. He explored a lot of the things that Chris had started, but he also, that was starting at 312 is when Joe Mad comes onto the book and is the mostly regular artist all the way up through 350.
I love Joe Mad.
So, he does a lot of the early issues. He starts getting, Joe Mad-esque, probably right around the Onslaught, right around the end of Onslaught, which is 336, 337. And then he ends up being about like every second to third issue doing the pencils, but he still does all the covers all the way up through 350. So go ahead, check it out. You can find most of them relatively cheap. And they're a good fun story. If you start at 312, you get to see the Phalanx, like the first appearance of the Phalanx. You get a lot of the introductions of the kids that became Generation X.
Hey,
Onslaught.
Joe Mad was freaking 18 when he came
All right,
in,
fellas,
right?
we're wrapping this bad boy up. We're not starting a new discussion.
So
Daddy's got to
check it
go
out.
pee.
Check it out. You guys can find it relatively cheap. They're in all the back issue bins, but good fun time.
Absolutely. That's a good call on that one, Doc. I do want to say thank you very much to the entire panel, and especially Eric O'Sullivan, the Sultan of Soup himself. Happy birthday. Happy Big
Here's
5-0. You're halfway to 100.
I am.
Big celebration.
Half a century.
Congratulations. I hope you have fun.
Bro.
You're going to
Going to Guy Fieri's tonight, and then we're going to the Bruins hockey game. We're hosting
Hockey.
the Chicago Blackhawks, and I'm bringing 5 old friends of mine. I'm blessed and grateful, and this has been a great way to start off my birthday.
Hey, you
I'm
got
glad
the
we could be part
Lazarus
of it.
pit in your bathroom, bro. You're not fooling anybody. You got the Lazarus pit. Yes, sir.
Fatal J
Good
was
job, man.
pointing at the happy thing that he had there. But- all right, everybody. Thank you so much. And don't forget, we will not be live here next Saturday. We'll actually be on Sunday because Daddy's going on a vacation. I'm leaving on Monday, and I have 2 videos a day ready for all of you guys. I've been working tirelessly for like
God.
15 days now, and I actually got it done. I couldn't
The
believe it.
hardest working man on YouTube.
Mhm.
Absolutely.